What up, world? What up, everybody out there? Happy Wednesday. Love this Wednesday show, man. Coop, how you doing today, bro?
Doing great.
We're giving out awards today, man. There's obviously, a lot of chatter on the internet about different lists. B Dot and those guys in Hip Hop DX, they have declined your offer. Well, I don't want to say decline. They have not responded to your offer to debate their list. So, I don't know. I mean,
Well, what was funny about all that is that when you shot me the text message, like Wayno's up in the thread. Like I'm like, who is that? I had to
oh
go
yeah,
look
it's
him
like
up. I didn't know
everyday
who he
struggling.
was
Nah, shout out to
because I
Wayne.
don't because I don't be studying dudes like that. So when you was like Wayno up in here, I'm like, oh, who is that? But he was laughing. I asked him what he was laughing about. He didn't respond either. I mean, don't they be in Atlanta sometime? They're more than welcome to come tell me in person what's so funny.
No, I mean,
You
I
know?
think those guys. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I think B Dot comes from the Rockefeller tree. I think the same thing for Wayno, I believe.
You don't
But I
say.
know both of those
That's
guys are at
fascinating.
Complex now.
It's
So,
fascinating.
but again, I don't see what's wrong with having a hip hop discussion if what people are saying, especially in B Dot situation, right? If what you're saying you truly believe, and you think that your list is legit, you should be able to talk about it. I mean, you've seen our platform posted, you've responded to it, you've responded to that part of it. So I know you've seen the other part where we ask you to talk about this list. He actually went on a live, I want to say it was Saturday or something,
Mm.
to talk about his list since, people were talking about it. I popped in real quick. It was like 43 people in there. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything. I'm just saying, like, Complex is the platform. So, like, on your individual profile, it's not like you get a bunch of people coming in there conversing. So, you might want to come on this platform and talk about it. We got more than 43 people in here now. Shit. But anyway, we're going to get to
Hilarious.
all that stuff.
That's hilarious.
Did you see what Luca did last night, man?
Yeah, is that where we're starting?
I want to talk about that, man. 60,
Go
21, and
ahead.
10. I mean, while we're getting people to come in the room so we can start talking about this hip hop shit. But yeah.
Yeah, we can do a little sports foray for a minute. I would like to. I have some stuff that I'd like to say.
Yeah, yeah.
But go ahead, you first, please. Tell me how you feel
I
about the
mean, what
game and the performance.
I'm going to say this because I haven't really been into the NBA season like that this year.
Okay.
For me personally, the current NBA, and I hate to sound like an old head or whatever, they just score too much and it's really not a lot of defense and it's tough to watch sometimes.
Okay.
Um, and you got guys pulling up from half court, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Um,
Mhm.
but when you see a performance like 60 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 assists,
Mhm.
it's like, yo, what's going on out here? Like I already knew Luca was special anyway, and from what I understand, there's never been a stat line like this ever in NBA history.
Correct.
Even including
Wilt
Wilt,
has a couple of 50-20 games that are close.
right? But
I
the
think a 57
60,
and a 53.
21, and then 10 assists, like the 21 rebounds from the guard position is that's eyebrow raising anyway. It's like you're in the guard position getting 21 rebounds. Like, I mean, it's amazing. For me, for a guy who hadn't really been watching basketball that much this year, is he not the best player in the NBA? What up to
Okay.
everybody in the chat, by the way, too?
A couple things about the performance before we go into is he the best player in the
Uh huh.
NBA? Here's why numbers matter, but being present in class matters more. A couple things happened in that game last night that people are missing. One, RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson pretty much didn't play the entirety of that game, who I feel like are the next Knicks first and second best player, and even on a bad day for RJ Barrett, their first and third best players. So they were without two of their top three players. Now, as far as size is concerned, losing RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson defensively creates a liability because I believe Brunson is 6'5", Barrett is 6'7". Those would have been the two main guys guarding Luka. Okay?
Right.
Now, my light just went out.
I see you.
I'm going to try to fix it in a second. I don't know what's going
No,
on.
no, do your thing.
Now, On the basis of just some fundamental basketball stuff, the best player who was remaining, Julius Randle, who is a bigger player, well, he just made a very, very egregious error in not being caraffing that rebound. The ball was right there in his hands, and quite frankly, he lost it, and he should have grabbed it. Now, Tom Thibodeau also didn't play guys like Cam Reddish, who was like, 6'9", somebody more viable to guard this 6'7", 235-pound phenom of a ball player. Mm-hmm. But it was a great game. But I think also, too, I think some people are walking around saying it's the greatest game ever. And I want to get to that in a second. But first of all, I would like to say
people are saying that?
Yeah, there are people walking around saying that this is like one of the arguably the greatest performance ever.
Would you put it over what we saw with Kobe in that 81-point performance?
Comparable is what I would say. I feel when I say comparable, I mean if you want to put it in the discussion with that game, that's fine. But before we get to that, I want to get to your is he the best player in the NBA right now type of question. Mm-hmm. And I say this with respect because even if you look at his numbers for the season, well, he's averaging about 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. Jesus. There used to be a guy in Chicago that by himself, he used to average those kind of numbers. And although he wasn't winning, he was kind of looked at as the best player in the NBA even before he was winning because it was just hard to ignore what he's doing. Now, he's not Mike, so I don't know if he's the best player in the NBA right now, but he's definitely in the top 3 or 4. And I have a list of people, and I want you to tell me, well, who is better than him right now? LeBron, KD, Jokic, Embiid, Tatum, and then I have asterisks next to 3 other players because they're always fucking hurt. AD, Zion, Steph Curry.
Listen, the only one...
who's better than Luka right now that I just named?
None of those guys, in my opinion. I mean...
Did I say Giannis?
You said Giannis, and I think Giannis would be the closest just because of size and, whatever.
No.
And, at the end of the day, again, LeBron is in his... I can't
LeBron's
even keep track.
Phenomenal basketball.
He's playing...
I'm still a top 5-ish player.
Of course.
I don't care what year he's in. I'm talking about what your game look like. His game look like he's top 5-ish still.
Okay, let me go to these stats real quick. Let me go to people's. Go ahead.
No. Here's what I'd submit to you. Oftentimes when people were saying Kawhi was the best player in the league, it was because he played defense. When we talk about Mike, we talk about defense. Now I don't know if you've been watching, but the way Giannis and Embiid year in and year out play defense. And the way Kevin Durant is currently playing defense right now, how can you say that he's better than those 3 guys, accounting the other side of the court? Kevin Durant's averaging almost 2 blocks a game, and opponents are shooting their low. He has the opponent's lowest field goal percentage in the league in terms of players shooting against him right now, under 50%. So he's technically, like when playing somebody one-on-one, the best field goal percentage-wise defender in the league right now. Plus, he's giving you almost 2 blocks, plus 30 points. Plus 6 rebounds.
We talking about defense, Coop?
Plus, hold on. Plus shooting 57% from the field.
All right,
I haven't even got the Giannis and Embiid numbers because their numbers look much like Durant's numbers. And they all play defense.
Well, Coop, I just went to last night's scores. Lakers, Orlando, 129 to 110. They got Philly and Washington, 111 to 116. Boston and Houston, 126 to 102. Atlanta, Indiana, 129 to 114. We talking about defense? You got Spurs at OKC, 130 to 114. Ain't nobody playing no defense in this league, period. So I don't even factor in defense.
You still have to grade it on a curve.
So I don't even factor in anybody's defensive prowess. There is no defensive prowess.
Even if the defense is not the defense that you're used to, Mike, you still have to grade the defense on the curve that exists. Defense still exists. There's still an all defensive team every year, isn't there? Isn't there such thing as a two-way player? Isn't everybody looking for the two-way wing, the one who can do what? Shoot and what? Defend.
I went to Monday.
It's very much real. It's just there's no Scottie Pippen or Dennis Rodman or Michael Jordan or Gary Payton walking around, but there's defense exists. Yes.
They're not that great of defenders, though. The people that you're talking about, listen, I'm not going to hold it against Luka because he's not a quote-unquote great defender in a league full of bad defenders. You know what I mean? Like,
hold on, but that's what I'm saying.
I'm looking for a game where it's under 100 points.
No. There's a difference between the league being bad defensively and guys being bad defensively. Giannis and Embiid and KD right now this year are not bad defensively. They're supreme defensively and also supreme offensively, just like Luka. So what I would tell you right now, if we're weighing both sides of the court right now this season, and actually, understand these guys also are all on teams with far superior records as well, which is usually matters in the MVP vote, and I would put him at fourth right now. Okay. I would say right now I would tell you it's Giannis, Embiid, KD, Luka, and then I would say Jokic or Tatum, depending on who you want to take. Because here's the thing with Tatum, and I say this as a Duke fan. Well, how would be? You remember how we treated LeBron when he played against Dallas in the finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember when Kobe shot 37% against Detroit? Remember how we treated Kobe? He's like, man, the Lakers are ring because Shaq averaged 30 and 14. Like, what'd you do?
Right.
Remember how we treated him? Well, if he's that echelon of player, well, he getting that same treatment. So it's like even his play right now, it's like, well, I'm not impressed because you need to deliver when it matters most. To quote Janae Aiko, if you are who you say you are.
Well, nobody has the numbers that Luka has right now. And I'm trying to find it and trying
Larry
to
Bird won MVP the year Mike had those numbers. The 86 season where Mike went crazy, that's Larry Bird's third straight MVP season.
Yep. Shiesta30 with the super chat says, salute guys, keep raising the flag for real hip hop. Definitely. We're going to get into a whole lot today. Fantasy 731, says, thank you guys for y'all list. Are y'all ready for the new Pusha and drama tape coming?
We're going to talk about it.
Allegedly. That was the news that came out and everybody was talking about it. I'm going to be perfectly honest, guys, as a Pusha T fan, I'm really not excited.
Luka's awesome, but if you're asking me, like, we always weigh it on both sides of the court. If we're talking both sides of the court and factor in the team's records, there are three players ahead of him right now because the way he's balling out, it's not like these guys aren't balling out comparably offensively, and they're better defensively, and their teams are better. So how can you say that? When do we ever say that? When do we ever give the guy the MVP when this team's struggling to get into the playoffs, when guys have comparable offensive numbers, better defensive numbers, playing on better teams, and are the stars of their team just like him? It may not be fair, but it's like that's the way the game's traditionally played.
No, that's definitely the way the game goes. But, Dallas
is fourth right now.
Dallas is sixth right now.
Yeah, but Brooklyn is third. Milwaukee is first. Philly is fourth, I think. They're all ahead. They're all in the same conference, and they're all ahead.
But honestly, though, Coop, let's just be real. They're just better teams. Now, if you ask me who's going to win the MVP, yes, I'm going to go towards somebody like a Giannis or Jokic or KD. But if you ask me who's playing the best individual basketball, that's a different question.
Oh, if you're asking who's just playing the best one-on-one ball, it's him. But that's because he has to.
I guess so. Again, I know. I remember when Kobe hit 81.
He's the best player that has the least right now, so he has to do the most.
I feel you, Coop, man. But all of these guys have been in situations where they've had the least and ain't did nothing like this. You know what I mean? And there's been times when KD didn't have a squad.
Embiid and Giannis,
yeah. People have had bad teams.
KD pretty much had Harden and Westbrook from the jump. That's why he went to the finals by the time he was 23. He's literally spent a year without them. Yeah. And in that year, he averaged 20 points.
He's always had pretty good teams. He's always had pretty good teams. But, I know people want us to get...
Mostly because he's been the best player. Mostly because he's been on them, though. You understand that, right? Like, that's what I mean. Generational players, and this is what I mean about what Luka still needs to be revealed. Oh, well, generational players, if you just give them another player or two that's really good, you're going to be in the playoffs and win 50 games every year. That's what Kevin Durant is. That's what LeBron James is. That's what Steph Curry is. That's what Michael Jordan was. Shaq, Kobe, Tim Duncan. That's what it means to be all-time great. Luka hasn't proven himself to be that yet necessarily.
Man, with 60, 21, and 10, and we still got naysayers.
Look, no. I'm not naysaying. I'm just giving you the facts. Is anything that I'm telling you incorrect?
It's incorrect to say that...
Shaq stepped into the league, and they immediately won 41 games after having the worst record in the league. When you're transcendent, it is going to show not just on the stat sheet, but in the wins column.
Oh, no. It did in the wins column for Dallas. Let's not act like they didn't go far in the playoffs last year.
Where are they right now? We're talking about this year. Where are they right now?
They're sixth. They're climbing.
Okay.
From what I see in the standings, they're climbing. So
Okay.
They're not too.
Now,
I mean, honestly, it's not anybody out here that's like gangbusters in the West, man. I mean, they can
it's one
come
of the
up.
greatest games ever. I will give it that. Regular season games. But here's what I'll tell you, because some people have been saying it's the greatest game ever.
Nah,
Listen to this. On March 28th, 1990, this guy named Michael Jeffrey Jordan had 69 points against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Would you like to listen to the stat line? He went 23 of 37 from the field, shooting 62%. Here's what people forget, Mike. He had 18 rebounds in that game. He had 6 assists, 4 steals, 1 block, only 2 turnovers, Mike. Only 2 turnovers. The man scored 69 points, got 18 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, and a block. 2 turnovers.
You're comparing him to the greatest basketball player ever.
No. This is the greatest game ever. He went 2 of 6 from the 3-point line and shot 33%, which is about Mike's career average. 21 of 23 from the free throw line for 91%. Now, here's what's impressive about the 18 rebounds. Hot Rod Williams, Larry Nance, and Brad Daugherty were the starting front line in that game. Those guys are 6'9", 6'10", and 7 feet respectively, and he got 18 rebounds against that team. That's impressive when you get 18 rebounds against that team.
Now, I feel you. If you want to put all those things in context, as you should.
Right. I'm just giving people some context to think it's the greatest game that somebody ever played. It's like, no. There's a reason that he's that dude. This stat line really happened one day in 1990. Think about it, and think about this too. It happened. Listen to what I'm saying. March 28th. Mike, the season's almost over. This nigga ain't tired.
No.
He
turning it on. Thumbs up in the chat, man. We about to get to some music. I know people want to hear us talk about some music because there's a lot of music to discuss. Are you excited about this Pusha T and DJ Drama Gangsta Grills?
I'm more excited than you are, apparently.
I'm not excited. Because my thing is, at this point, after hearing It's Almost Dry, I feel like I already have heard everything that Pusha can give us. Like I said, I mean, when It's Almost Dry was coming, I was anticipating it because I thought that this was going to be that level up, that step where Pusha T was going to take that giant leap from being a top 15-ish to possibly a top 10-ish MC. But now I pretty much know we're going to get. We're going to get dope talk, cocaine talk, street shit, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to get drama yelling over the shit, hyping it up. I mean, this whole resurgence of the Gangsta Grill thing, maybe because the Gangsta Grill thing might have been a little bit past my primitive age. This is like when I was in radio and shit. I mean, I just don't get the whole nostalgic of it. I mean, it's not... I'm cool with us moving forward and not going backwards with this whole Gangsta Grill thing. You know what I mean?
I found the Tyler pairing on Call Me If You Get Lost.
That was cool.
I found that to be more fascinating and inviting. This feels more like this is more of what you're used to.
Yeah.
Now, I'm somewhere in the middle. Here's what I mean when I'm saying I'm more excited than you. I agree with everything that you just said outside of a couple of sentiments. And so I think this is an opportunity for maybe him to give some more depth, even in the lingo and the talk that he does, because you can do both. You can do both. Like, you can give the talk and still give the depth. Like, it's been proven, like it can be done. But also, too, I'm interested to hear, like, where the beats are coming from and what the approach is going to be, because the Re-Up Game mixtapes, to me, are some of the best mixtape series ever.
I agree.
He's at the forefront of that. It was kind of his really coming out party as an upper echelon MC. I'm saying he exists very, very well and comfortably in these formats. And that is where some of my excitement comes from. It's like, oh, no, he does the mixtape type of thing, like at an extremely high level, literally at some of the highest levels that we've ever seen done. There's evidence of that.
Well, look, if the bar work is next level or whatever, Coke talk, whatever. But I think that's probably the biggest thing. And we're going to talk about this when we talk about Kendrick and New York Times and what they said about him being the greatest of his era. If the bar work is, like I said, Daytona level or higher, or like you said, Re-Up Gang level, great. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with it. Like, I just didn't think the bar work on It's Almost Dry was there. It was kind of lazy, and I do feel like this is a similar situation as Kendrick, where it's like people are heralding It's Almost Dry like it's kind of his best effort to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's his most celebrated effort. Can we not say that? And so going into a mixtape with that kind of momentum, I don't think he's even going to level it up. I'm really not excited for that. Now, again, if people acknowledge that, kind of like Benny did when it came to um, um, what's it called? The one that Hit Boy did, Burden of Proof. He kind of acknowledged to a certain degree, like, I made this album, but I know I could do better, and he went out and did that. I don't think Kendrick or Pusha feel that way about these efforts they put out because they've been heralded so much. And somebody in the chat says this one might end up being drier than It's Almost Dry.
Well, if they need to not get heralded as much, they can just listen to According to Hip Hop Live, and we'll be more than happy to give them fair analysis on what these works are and are not.
Well,
Pusha
I
T's
mean,
work is good.
I hope they
Kendrick's
listen.
work is not good.
I hope they're listening, but again, I think
Okay.
that certain MCs that are at certain points in their career and going to certain luncheons or whatnot, they tend to lean towards the mainstream lists that are heralding them high. I mean, I guess you should.
Well, I mean, when you control those lists,
Yeah.
I mean,
we're going to put together some, I don't want to say lists, but we're going to give out our According to Hip Hop Live awards tonight, or at least come together with them. And we'll put them out on our social medias tomorrow just so everybody can see them. And then when people ask the question, who gave out this award or how did they get this award, they can revert to this episode. So we're going to get to those in a second. JY with the super chat says, I feel like Mike is worried that Pusha is going to end up like Jeezy on Snowfall at some point. I think Gold Rings is better than any song on It's Almost Dry. You know what? I'm going to say this, JY. I think that Pusha's kind of there. I think Pusha's super mainstream right now. And again, I think that there is levels that he can hit. Even talking about what's going on with him and Ye or whatever, since he wants to talk to the media about it, put it in music. You know what I mean? Like, come on. That's an interesting record.
2 seconds.
2 seconds? Yeah, that's an interesting record, I would imagine. You know what I mean? Like, so I just feel like I get doubling down on the Coke talk, but I just didn't really love how on It's Almost Dry you had bricks in the background, snow coming from, the sky, like the what was it, the Tonight Show or whatever. It was like, it was overkill. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get it, and if it was gonna be like that, let the bar work be extremely high level. But that's just me, you know what I'm saying? And I hope he proves me wrong because, again, I'm a Pusha T fan. I was looking forward to It's Almost Dry, and if this Gangsta Grill is dope, you know what I'm saying? No pun intended. I mean, we can kind of move on from It's Almost Dry and hopefully get to the next Pusha album. Because, again, I'm like, what does that mean for the next Pusha album? When you putting out a mixtape, sounds like it's something for the streets. And I don't see much of a difference between what It's Almost Dry was content-wise and what a mixtape would be content-wise, right? I mean, outside of the record with No Malice, these are street records.
I can't necessarily disagree with you about any of the sentiments or the points that you're making. Hip hop happens fast. I think we're going to get into that generational conversation and kind of understand some things too. And I think when we have the generational conversation is when our Barry Bonds thing is going to kind of creep in some too.
Okay.
Like somebody who generationally was great at the beginning and the middle and the end. And so it's kind of hard to quantify those things because hip hop exists very much sometimes in the sports realm in terms of how our heroes exist and transcend. So
we got spam in the chat. If the mods can take care of that, appreciate that.
Didn't know that. I'll jump in right now.
But yes, we're gonna get to Math Hoffa's list, but I think I want to go to this Kendrick thing right now, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I mean,
all right. The New York Times put Kendrick Lamar on the cover. They said Kendrick, Unbound, in a partnership with his longtime collaborator Dave Free. The greatest rapper of his generation is pushing himself commercially and creatively onto unexpected terrain. The greatest rapper of his generation. That's what the tagline that a lot of people took and was like, huh, is Kendrick Lamar the greatest rapper of his generation in your estimation?
How are we defining generation?
Yeah.
That would be the most important thing that we need to cover first.
That's my question. And again, if we're talking about, if we're capping it off, let's just say Section 80, what is that, 2011?
9.
Is that 9? I thought Section 80 was 2011.
Oh, Section 80, 10. 10.
Is it? Oh, let's get, I want to make sure we're correct. You know, I'm not doubting you or whatnot. Because I know the Good Kid, Mad City is 12, right?
Yeah, it feels that way.
Section 80. That is 2011. July 2nd, 2011.
2011?
Yeah,
Section
so
80?
if we're saying 2011 to 2017, for sure Kendrick's the best of his generation. The greatest of his generation. But if his generation extends from 2011 to, let's just say now, 2022, I have a hard time actually giving him that because we're in an era of activity, right? People don't take breaks too much. And that 5-year break in such an active era, I would have to give J. Cole that nod. Or if we're talking about the hits, I would have to give, I mean, you know, some people could say Drake or whatever. You know, because if his generation includes the generation of Drake and J. Cole, there is a real debate here.
I don't even want to get into all that just yet.
Oh,
I want to get into...
What do you want to get into?
No, I'm going to tell you where I'm going with this. This is what I mean about the media. The only reason that this article, or whatever it is, or what you would call it, even got written up and pushed out, is because they know what I know, what you know, what everybody else know. This product that he made isn't that good, and this is the best time to start talking about his all-time greatness and legacy for the generation, so we don't have to focus on this one album and how good it is not. It is very, very clear that that is what's going on. Why are we having a generational conversation about him when he's been gone for 5 years and just did a double disc? Why we ain't talking about the double album?
That's a good
point.
Because
it ain't no good.
It's a good point.
And I'm tired of saying that. It's not any good. The fact that this even got written up is proof positive it's not any good.
It's a good point. 36 Chambers with the super chat said, as a fan, we've been lauding Kendrick as the greatest rapper of the past decade of hip-hop. Or so, haven't we? Those of us who are 40-ish and under, from what I've heard. JY says, they're saying what's already been said for years. But
years ago, not for years, years ago. He's been going for 5 years and he just came back and dropped a subpar effort. You're talking about, that's what I'm saying. Why is an article being written in 2022 that should have been written in 2017, 2018?
You're right. And again,
because the album ain't no damn good, and I'm tired of saying it.
I know we're getting thumbs downs in the chat for this,
That's
but
cool.
I think Coop is making some very, very valid points.
Why is the article being written in 2022 about his generational greatness after he just went on the run that he went on and then took a 5-year break? They had 5 years to do this write-up.
No, you're right. You know what I mean? This could have been written in 2018 even. And again,
19, 20.
You know, if you could do me a favor, look up the activity of J. Cole from 2011 to 2022.
You don't want to do that.
Is there any, slippage or any type of breaks or, you know what I mean? What I do want to say, though, while you're looking that up,
not gonna take long.
I saw
It's
I
stuff
saw a
everywhere.
clip of Scarface, right? And Scarface was talking about how incredible a performer that Kendrick Lamar's show was that he did in Paris on Amazon Prime. And I went and looked at it, and it was an incredible show. And I went and looked at the Glattenberg show as well. Kendrick's a great performer, and I think that spoiler alert, I think he deserves to have Live Performer of the Year for 2022. But one thing I did notice was those records that were from his previous albums that were not on Mr. Morale, those records were much better than the records that were on Mr. Morale. And when he performed those Mr. Morale records on both tours, you could see the lack of reaction from the audience. You could see that those records weren't translating. And anybody in the chat, I know y'all Kendrick fans, y'all probably saw it too. It's a different reaction when Money Trees comes on, when DNA comes on, when Element comes on, when even Black of the Berry comes on and he does the song Mr. Morale. You know, the one that he does this the most, I guess, concert friendly is N95, and that doesn't even translate anywhere near what those other records do are.
Because the songs aren't
They're
as
not.
good.
And I think that when you look at his live performance, even though he has a lot going on in his live performance, they're well put together. His breath control is incredible. You know what I'm saying? The way that he projects himself, his clarity, and the way that he executes on his own rhymes, incredible. From a technical standpoint, he's perfect, right? On a performance level.
Don't you say that about Eminem?
Yeah.
From a technical
Eminem's
standpoint,
a great performer. Yeah, nah, straight up. But when you hear those songs next to the songs that he did 2017 and down, these records from this album don't even register. And these are fans who paid to see him, fans who know all the words to all of his shit. They're not excited about the new music when he's performing it. They want him to perform you know what I'm saying? Like when he does Mad City, people are getting up. When he does Mr. Morale or does Count Me Out, the mood kind of falls. It is what it is.
Who wants to go to a concert and feel depressed?
JY says, watch them drop a K-Dot's greatest hits album soon. You know what? You being funny, but it might happen. He might be in greatest hits territory. They blowing Coop up. They blowing him up. K-Dot's calling to say, yo, chill, bro. Mad Max with the super chat says, bro, love Dot, but I never heard people say that he was the greatest rap artist unless they were into social politics or liberal communist types. Okay. Now,
Don't you mean democratic socialist, not liberal communist? Like, damn it, Mad Max. We gotta work on your verbiage.
Okay, all right. So you looked up J. Cole's, I guess, activity
You just want to go through like album
2011.
stuff? You want to go through album stuff?
Yeah, let's go through album, mixtape stuff, whatever, from 2011 to 2022.
No, just on the album side, you got Cold World, which is 2011, Born Center, 2013, Forest Hills Drive, 2014. You got Revenge of the Dreamers 2. That's Dreamville.
That's 2014?
That's 2015.
2015, okay.
You got For Your Eyes Only. That's 2016. You got KOD. That's 2018. You got the Revenge of the Dreamers 3, the Dreamville joint. That's 2020. That's what I mean. Cole's been building his team out while all this has been going on too. A stellar team. I said that last episode. 2021 is the off season, and then Dreamville did D-Day this year.
Yeah.
Which is up for collab album of the year that we're gonna get to.
Okay.
So he's been. That's what I mean. Is like not only has he been working, he's been working and bossing up simultaneously.
Yeah. I mean,
at the same damn time, like rapping his ass off and bossing up,
and doing a lot of feature work too.
Let's not even get to the feature work. I didn't even bring up feature work or mixtape stuff. I'm just bringing in the Dreamville and album work.
Because what people got to understand, in this 5-year break that Kendrick took from 2017 to 2022, there's not a lot of feature work even.
Man, break was the time between when me and my daughter got back from lunch and the time to do the show. This nigga been on hiatus and dropped an album that wasn't good.
Hey,
And now he having to get whole write-ups about his generational greatness that, quite frankly, should have been getting written up while he was gone. And his generational greatness was evidence, because now ain't the time when you drop this album that isn't good. I don't care how many people jump in the chat. I don't care how many people don't like it. It's not good. I'm not co-signing that shit. Ain't nobody out here playing it, even while you talking about this. While we talking about this, told you, ain't nobody out here playing that.
So we're talking
people
about
in Cali.
So
go ask where Cali at up in here again. What they playing? What y'all playing outside right now? It's Saturday afternoon. You about to hit the beach. You about to hit Venice and try to get a tattoo. Or you about to hit Santa Monica and hit the pier. You know what I mean? You want to get fancy with it, hit the 17. Or all the people on the 101 in the valley. Niggas off the 405 in Long Beach. What the hell do you think they playing? Because they ain't playing this Saturday afternoon when they go outside. Don't tell me that.
What I noticed too from his performance, the Good Kid, Mad City stuff really hit, and he was doing it in succession.
They probably still playing Money Trees more.
But again, Good Kid, Mad City stuff was hitting. He performed Money Trees. He performed Backseat Freestyle. He performed Mad City. He performed Poetic Justice. He performed Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. All 5 of those records are bangers. There's nothing on this current shit that's even close. And I'm not even talking about the in-depth records on there. You know what I mean? Like the album cuts.
Those records are brilliant.
Yeah. And even when he performed some of the stuff from To Pimp a Butterfly, like Black of the Berry. I'm not a big fan of King Kunta like that. That record was at least banging over the stuff that's on the current shit. Like, it's a level. But again, the other thing that we do have to factor in, we're talking about 2012, 2015, and 2017. Those aren't very strong years in hip hop. None of those years are anywhere near as strong as 2020.
2012 is really good. No, 2012 is
Is it?
Yeah.
2012 is hold on. Is 2012, 2018, 2020, 2022 strong?
At the top, definitely. Life is Good, God Forgives and I Don't, Jesus Peace. I think Killer Mike's album came out that year. No.
Rap music.
No, up at the top, up at the very top, definitely. Because think about it. I mean, think about this. If your best albums in 2012 are Good Kid, Mad City, Life is Good, Jesus Peace, and God Forgives and I Don't, well, that's better than this year and 2020 as far as top 4. If you're just
being honest. Do you think so?
Yeah, because Good Kid, Mad City, first of all, is better than all of those albums, except for maybe KD3, and KD3 hasn't proven that it's going to hold up like Good Kid, Mad City. Think about it. If Good Kid, Mad City were to come out in any of those years, it would be the clear number 1, and Life is Good would be the clear number 2 in almost any of those years.
Well, I don't know about that. I think y'all think a lot more highly of Life is Good than I do.
Y'all the ones that got me back on Life is Good like that. And I've listened to it, Mike. I can't even front. If you really take it's very Braveheart Party Stillmatic, like if you take Summer on Smash off of Life is Good.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not Stillmatic.
I like this year's top 4 a lot. I like KD3, Cheat Codes, Soul Sold Separately, and No Fear of Time.
No, that's not better than 2012, Mike. Hold on. So you think that that's better than God Forgives? I Don't by Rick Ross. Life
I
is
will
Good
put
by
Soul Sold Separately.
Oh no.
I will put Soul Sold Separately up against God Forgives. I'm giving that to Rick Ross. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, let's not do that to Freddie because he just made a great album. You don't want to do that to him. He's not gonna win very many records.
So what? Cheat Codes and Life is Good.
Life is Good is better than Cheat Codes.
You think Life is Good is better than Cheat Codes?
I know it is. It is.
I don't know about that.
Stay, Cherry Wine.
Love those records. But then you got,
Locomotive.
Aquamarine. No Gold Tea.
No, I mean, but you're talking about like the top from beginning to end, Life is Good is better. Now, if you want to say like the highlights on Cheat Codes are better, I might give you that. But in the end, is it better than Life is Good? No, it is not.
I don't know, man. And again, I think the depth of this year.
We can Patreon that,
Yeah, I would love to. I think the depth of this year would give it the nod over 2012 for me. Because again, those years where you're talking about are top heavy, they don't have a lot of depth. We got 20 records this year.
The depth of this year, maybe, but like at the top, it's like, that's what I'm saying. Is like, I'll take Good Kid, Mad City, Life is Good, and God Forgives Like, I'll take that around anything like post 2005, like pretty proudly, and like fight you pretty well.
Michael Sanders with the super chat says Kendrick is not the best rapper of our generation, in my opinion. I give it to Cole. His last album was a major flop. All this is cap. JY with the super chat says, I can confirm, Mike, at least for myself. Didn't know the words like that on the Mr. Morale songs and didn't feel them like that. Yeah, JY went to the concert. Can you confirm any of the things I'm saying, JY? You know, people didn't know the words to the records like that.
It's okay. That's what I'm saying. Nobody's getting on him for making a bad album. I'm getting on everybody who keep trying to make it seem like he didn't just make a bad album. It's like, no. He get the same treatment that every other all-time great MC gets when they drop a dud. When Snoop dropped The Dogfather, we was on that ass. When Nas dropped Nostradamus, on that ass. When Kane dropped that bullshit, what's that name? Chocolate something, or you know what I'm talking about? Prince of Darkness or whatever. That's no on that ass when he did that.
Yeah, no.
It's like, what is you doing, fam? We doing the same thing with him. Your little king ain't above the fray. He made a bad album. Everybody need to say it in unison like we always do. When Jay made Magna Carta and Kingdom Come, he was like, it's not good, fam. What are you doing? What are you doing? We expect better from you. We come to you from consistent album play. What is this?
The thing is, man,
get jiggy with this.
When your fans come to your shows, especially when you're like an active artist like Kendrick is, he some would say he's still in his prime. I would disagree with that, but again, he gets treated as such, right? If you're doing a concert and a tour that is named after the album, people want to hear that new music. Like, the new music should get the biggest reaction. The new music should get a bigger reaction than you perform an Element from Damn. Element's not even a hit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because when he came out there, I'm willing to die for this shit. People was like, hey, it's different. It's just a better song. It's better than everything that's on Mr. Morale.
Now, it is what it is. Him, Element is one of the best songs he ever did.
Shit hard, man. I mean, when he was out there performing, again, his execution and the way he performs his shit, it made me feel some of those older records even more. I'm like, yeah, man, this dude was a bad man. And then when he performed the new stuff, I'm like, yo, this new stuff really isn't it.
No, like, so you know what? So listen to this. The plug told me today that, like, you know, the writers that do the write-ups, well, they go to the concerts and get that experience. So everything that you're feeling and talking about, the writers are experiencing that live, and that's cool. But you really want to know what it is, me? That shit ain't cute, though, because you still got to rate the music and get out of your fucking feelings.
Well, they got a job to do. Like a real
you got a job to do. Nobody care how you feel about the concert experience, nigga. Do the write-up right.
Well, yeah.
Album ain't good. Next.
Mad Max with the super chat says Cole and Drake. Mad Max says Cole and Drake are the ones. I've heard males and females saying that they love those artists in public and in private. He's in contention, but he's not the GOAT of this generation. Okay, Andrew Green with the super chat says saw K-Dot live, thought his breath control was amazing and he sounded crystal clear, but also realized he used his vocal backing tracks on some joints. I realized some of that too. And when I saw that, I was like, well, is this why he sounded so great? Recording Sanctuary with the super chat says, every rap article or review says that the rapper is the best rapper of their generation. The New York Times article is nothing new. Okay. Again, people wanted to discuss it. And I do think that if we're talking about, I guess, you know what I took from the article that was interesting, or at least the cover, because I didn't read the article. I just want to know what is actually considered to be Kendrick's generation. When you take a 5-year break, pretty much half of your era, is that still your era? Are they cutting him off in 2017? I guess not, because like Coop said, if they could have wrote this article after he did Damn, but they chose to write this article after Mr. Morale. So that lets me know that 2022 counts. And if 2022 counts, after you took a break from 2017 to 2022 and your peers did not, I'm going to have to say no.
See, this is what I mean, and this is what I mean about the generational thing. And what do we mean by generation? Because it's like, well, technically, when you look at Albert Pujols' prime, it's like, well, was he the best player of his generation?
Albert Pujols, I think he was the strongest hitter of his generation, possibly. I mean,
Well,
if you
that's
look
funny
at the
because, his
overall,
best years happened while Barry Bonds was still playing baseball.
mm,
And so was he the best player of his generation? You get what I'm saying? It's like, it's easy for you to say that, but like Albert Pujols was like having like astronomical seasons, like that were some of the best seasons ever. He just was like playing like in the same league with Barry Bonds for about 4 or 5 years. And so, he didn't win any of those MVP awards really. Barry won those. You feel me? It's like, so when you're talking even generationally, it's like, well, let's look at the last 5 years because, there's this whole like, Nasir, King's Disease 1, King's Disease 2, Magic, King's Disease 3. All of this has been done in this 5-year span generationally, very much like how Barry Bonds, won MVPs early and then won them late. So it's like when we're having the generational conversation, it's like, are you talking about who people relate to? Are we talking about the music? Like, what are we talking about? Because it's like, if we're going to talk about best of this generation, like, under what span? That's what I'm saying, because it appears the only real argument that he has, because he doesn't have an argument over Nas or J. Cole for the last 5 years. So if you're talking about 5 years prior to that, then yes, but then that just makes everything that I'm saying all the more solid. Why the fuck we having this conversation 5 years later? It's because this album's whack.
it just feels like, again, and this is from somebody who always thought Kendrick put out the superior product when it comes to albums, right? I think it's just unfair to J. Cole, who never stopped and who stayed consistent. And I just got to keep it real. Like, he never dropped an effort where his fans was like, oh, no, this ain't it. Well, technically, maybe Kendrick hasn't either because his fans are still saying this is album of the year. So I don't know. But I saw what those fans felt when they were in the audience at this show when he was performing the stuff from the new album. They couldn't fake that.
That's what I'm saying. You can't. Hey, look here. Like, Kane don't perform nothing from Prince of Darkness. Snoop don't perform nothing from The Dogfather. Nas definitely don't be playing no damn You Owe Me.
I tell people in the city
it happens.
I tell
what
people
I need
in the
his fan
city
base to do and the media to do, Mike, is tell this man the truth so that this doesn't happen again. Because the truth shall set you free.
Well, I tell people this all the time. People in the city who always tell me that T.I.'s I'm Serious is a classic. I'm like, he doesn't perform any of those songs from that album. And there's a reason why. It is what it is.
It's not good.
It's not as great of an album as you think it is. Because even the performer himself doesn't perform the song I'm Serious. He doesn't perform Pussy Pumper #1. He doesn't even perform Dope Boys in the Trap. And that was the record that kept him alive.
No, you're right. Production-wise, Mike, when I go back and listen to that album, even sonically, it's like, it's not that good.
It's not. Man Max of the Super Chat says, I saw an IG post where they listed all of the first teams of NBAs from 2000 to 2009. And Kobe, Shaq, and Duncan made the first team 7 times apiece, most of any player. I say that to say this is Dot at 4 times first teams type. I mean, it matters when it happens because I agree with you on the Good Kid, Mad City thing. When it comes to, Good Kid, Mad City coming out, if it came out in any other year, it would probably still be at #1. But it does matter when you put out Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Damn, specifically To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn, in weaker years where your album is head and shoulders above the #2. And so it creates this environment that you're just way ahead of everybody. Now, if Good Kid, Mad City came out in 2018, it would still be #1, but it would also have Astro World to deal with. It would also have Daytona to deal with, and it would also have Nipsey's joint to deal with.
Victory Lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap. And it wouldn't feel like you're just far and beyond everybody.
I don't know, Mike. I think Good Kid, Mad City is still far superior to those albums that you just named.
It is better, but I'm just saying it would still be other stuff going on where it doesn't feel like it was the only thing.
No, that's what I mean. Like, you don't feel like Life is Good and God Forgives I Don't is the other stuff going on?
I feel like God Forgives I Don't As far as like, club play and stuff like that, I think that when it comes to Life is Good, it's Nas. You know what I'm saying? And he has the rest of his catalog to contend with. So it's already not going to get the same type of fair shake when you got a guy who's coming in fresh and made his best effort, and you got a guy who's been around and we've heard for years who's making maybe his fifth or sixth best effort. It's different.
No, you're right. He's got Tom Brady, Michael Jordan problems. It's like you're comparing him against his best work in prior years.
Exactly.
Like really not against everybody else. Like
it's like Jordan going out there for the Wizards, like scoring 22 a game, like that. Those are great numbers for a starter.
No, Life is Good is better than that. Life is Good is better than Michael Jordan on the Wizards. It's more like 25. It's more like Mike scoring 25. Life is Good as Mike scoring 25, 26 a game.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not as high on Life is Good as you guys.
I think you want to know, I wasn't either, Mike. And I'm going to tell you what, people have been on my ass for some years about it. And I've gone back and listened to it. And I'm going to tell you something. It's holding up very, very well.
Oh, yeah. I listen to Cherry Wine all the time. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean the whole project, Mike. It's holding up well. It's better than it's holding up even better than I originally thought. Like I'm higher on it than I have been in quite some time.
This is what I'm gonna say, and obviously this is a quote unquote Nas channel unofficially to some people, but I have gone back, and especially when we've had our station heads and whatnot and getting people's requests, I've gone back and played some Nas records that I may have kind of overlooked over the years, and they have all aged very well. And that's one thing I will say. Even stuff from Street's Disciple, like these records have aged very well. Records that I might not have really loved when they first came out, because I'm just gonna admit it, I wanted to hear a certain type of Nas record. Like I was gravitating to Thief's Theme. So it's like when a record like that comes out, I might overlook some of the other records on Street Disciple. When I go back and listen to those, I'm like, yo, these records sound really good. These aged very well. So I can say that about his whole catalog pretty much.
No, Rest of My Life, Reason. Yeah, those records sound great right now.
They do.
Yeah.
And so maybe I do need to go back and listen to Life is Good again. I remember when I first heard Life is Good, I liked it. But, I will say this. I didn't think it was... I would think the Cheat Codes is the superior effort between the two. But we can do a Patreon for that.
Okay.
Mad Max with the Super Chat says, Cole and Drake like 7-time first team hip-hop and Dot's like 4. And just like Kobe and Shaq and Duncan are top 3 players of the 2000s, Cole and Drake are over Dot. You know what? I think that the thing with, and I think we should.
Even though Drake hasn't made stuff good in the last 5 years, really, he has been making stuff.
He has been making stuff. I think we got to address this part when it comes to the Drake thing. And I think that Drake is kind of and I say this respectfully, it's kind of a LL Cool J type of conversation. Where it's like, no one's going to sit here and tell you that Drake can outspit Kendrick. They all have 2 totally different skill sets. Like, Drake's a hit maker, whereas Kendrick's an album maker and not really a hit maker per se. That's not his strength. His strength is making his strength is making albums, where Drake's strength is making hit songs, singles, right? Drake's strength is in features. Kendrick's strength's not really in that. Kendrick's a superb lyricist and storyteller, where Drake is more melodic. Like, they do so many different things, so it's like it depends on what you put the onus on when it comes to those 2 artists. If you're about the album making process, you're going to have Kendrick over him. If you're about just pure lyricism, you're going to have Kendrick over him. But if you're about numbers, hits, presence, features, then you're going to put Drake over.
And hook writing.
Hook writing, too. That's a big one. It's a big one.
Better hook writing.
I think that between the 2, and again, I can't really sit here and definitively... Listen, I'll give my opinion. You know me, and whenever we do these lists, for me, catalog of music is really about the albums.
Right.
And when it comes to the albums, yes, I would put Kendrick above Drake. But I can't disregard the activity And like you said, never going anywhere, still being here, still all these years later, able to just make hits whenever. Legit hits too.
I can't I can't say. I think we exist in a culture where the lyricism is still way so heavy in terms of how we rank our greatest, that I don't know if Drake can ever be considered the greatest of this generation with guys like Cole and Kendrick, and even a Jay Electronica, who did not release any material, like viable candidates like that lyrically walking around in his era. But he is somebody much like LL Cool J, that is the same way LL deserves to be mentioned with like Rakim and KRS-One and
Right.
G-Rap and Kane, is the same way Drake deserves to be mentioned with Cole and K-Dot and Electronica. And if you even wanted to count Pusha as part of this generation as a solo artist, you get what I'm saying? Big
No,
Sean.
I feel you.
Like he deserves to be considered in that stratosphere. I really do think this really comes down to the fact of it's just like, well, if you like rap and you like rap greatness and rap consistency, then Cole's your guy in this conversation. If we're
'Cause he
talking
does it
about
all.
the cumulative, if we're talking about the cumulative effort, it's almost like, when you do the decathlon in the Olympics, and it's like, you don't really win the decathlon by winning one event. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You win it by winning and scoring high enough in a multitude of events. So it's like, you could win bronze in all 10 events and maybe win the decathlon and not go finish first or second in any event. But if you're the best consistent,
Yeah,
and
if
so,
we threw out criterias out there, right? Album
Right.
making, features, and all that, like Cole would probably get 8s all across the board. Whereas Kendrick with the album stuff, lyricism stuff would get like 10s or whatever. But when it came to feature game, that's gonna drop you. When it comes to hit making, that's gonna drop you. Things like that. But when it comes to Drake, like, you know what I'm saying? Like his feature game stuff 10, right?
Let's just possibly do a quick scale right quick. Let's just look at a few things, if we may. Let's just
Let me write this down. Let me get to the super chat while we, before we
let me
do
write
that.
something up right quick while you hit the super chat up.
All right, Leroy Green with the super chat says, "Peace to you, A2HH." But cool. I'll go with anybody versus Big Pun's Capital Punishment on the Patreon. Who you got? Jokingly. Nah, man. I mean, I'm gonna go to Old Faithful. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. 1998. I mean, shit. I mean, y'all really think that capital punishments like that? I guess we could go with Moment of Truth. Is that fair?
I want to do that, the capital punishment.
Is that fair? I mean, if it's like that. Record Sanctuary, says, I think that Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is great, but I can understand why it's disappointing to someone who's waited 5 years. Kendrick is the best because his classic albums, and this is the first one that isn't. I like that. I mean, listen.
I've been saying that, and when I say it, people are like, "You hating?" It's like, no, this is just not anywhere close to the last projects. It's not good.
And listen, as a writer and as a former lyricist, I can respect the incredible writing from this album. But I would be remiss if I wouldn't acknowledge the fact that when he puts these songs into his set with his previous works, it doesn't translate as well. And that comes down to the material. It has nothing to do with the... I think the fact that, we're talking about the album in the way that we're talking about it, people are taking this whole flop or missing thing as in he just made trash or made a whack album. No, you can listen to the lyricism on there and take a lot of great stuff from it, but the palatability is not there, and it's always been there for his lyricism before. So with that being said, I mean, it's just not, it just doesn't hit that mark. It's kind of like when you watch gymnasts in the Olympics, and for the untrained eye, and I say this respectfully, they'll go out there and do their thing, and the judges who know what they're looking for be like 8, and the people watching TV be like, no, that was fire, that was a 10.
They'd be like, nah, did you see how they sidestepped on the landing right quick?
Right.
No, we're taking 0.7 of a point off for that.
Yeah, and we know what this guy can do, and this is why we hold him so high. This is
So
why we hold
look,
him so high.
so let's just do something right quick. So,
Okay.
albums, Kendrick or Cole?
Kendrick.
I'm still with you on that, even after this dud.
Definitely.
I still agree with that. Guest appearances.
Cole.
Okay. Lyrics.
Huh. I'm going
Lyrics.
Kendrick.
Hold on. How about this? Lyrics / storytelling. Because when you put them together,
I think both of them are great storytellers, actually.
they are. That's
I would give that nod to Kendrick, though.
The lyrics and the storytelling?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we making that one or are we separating it?
We can make that separate.
So he's a better lyricist and storyteller than you?
I think so.
I don't think he's the better lyricist.
You don't?
I think he's the better storyteller. I don't think he's the better lyricist.
Huh.
I think you're talking about his content or maybe his subject matter.
No, I mean, no.
Lyrically, where do you think he's better? How about this? Because here's what I will really submit to you. What's Kendrick's best verse?
It's a lot, bro. You know what? Off the top of my head, I'm going to say his verse on Mad City. Off the top of my head, without really thinking about it, without really going into it, that Mad City verse is crazy.
Okay. Now, you heard Cole on Johnny P's Caddy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's not Cole's best verse. Have you remember J. Cole on Pray on Jesus piece?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like when you're saying that he's better lyrically, it's like, oh, I don't know about that. You want to say he's a better storyteller? Yes.
I'm thinking about his lyricism on Element, not Element, Feel. I think his last verse on Feel is one of his best verses as well.
I think the second verse on Feel is arguably his best verse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm saying. Cole got like, that's what I'm saying. Cole's been rapping so much, he has like plenty of verses at that level. That's
I will
what I mean.
say this.
That's
I
the
will
thing
say
about
this.
when you don't rap for 5 years and your competition keeps rapping.
But
it's not rapping at a higher level than Cole lyrically.
I'm okay with saying that Cole has the MCing thing over Kendrick, and maybe these are the same thing, maybe they're different. But
you cool with calling lyrics a tie and giving Kendrick the storytelling nod?
I'm cool with that, but I mean, with the writing that he did on, Auntie's Diaries and My Sober and stuff.
But that's content.
I don't think it's just content. The lyricism that he put together was top notch.
No, it's not, because if it was, we'd be reciting it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's
that's
like,
fair.
If it was that, we'd be reciting it the way we recite Tupac stuff, and Biggie stuff, and Nas stuff, and Jay stuff, and Andre stuff, and Scarface stuff. We're not reciting this stuff like that, because it's not like that. The lyrics ain't like that. The writing is, the lyrics are not.
But the lyrics are what's written. I feel you. But see, again, that's kind of like why it's not translating live, too.
This is what I mean. Yeah. Right. Like, this is what I mean. Like, the content and the conception of this, in terms of how it's written, conceptually, oh, it's beautiful. The execution does not translate. So it's not great lyrically.
Because Pac could have went out there.
Lyricism. You gotta hit the mic and spit that shit. And people gotta want to say it with you.
Yeah, because Pac could have went out there on some lyrical miracle stuff, but he needed to make it translate. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a poet.
Yeah, you have to translate your writing into the format that you chose to exist in.
So what other category do you have out there? What other category you got?
Voice.
Well,
I think we found out this year how much voice really matters in this conversation.
Well, voice is definitely Cole.
Delivery.
I'm going Kendrick with that. But again.
So am I.
But see, again, I think delivery, that's another thing that's like, that's an acquired taste when it comes to Kendrick, because Cole gives you a traditional hip-hop delivery, whereas, Kendrick's coming on some,
he has an array of deliveries.
Like, he has an array. He has more of a versatile delivery, but I think that Cole has more of a palatable delivery.
No, and I agree with that. But in this one, I think Kendrick's agility just is so supreme in terms of how many different ways he can deliver that I would give him the nod over Cole in that, even that traditional come through. Like that's that consistent. That's that, Cole give you that Tim Duncan with his delivery. It's like, well, that's going to be good for 20 and 10 every night for as long as he steps on the court.
Well, and that's the thing too. We don't know how well Kendrick's delivery is gonna age either. Where we know this
I think we're finding out
Cole,
right now.
yeah, Cole's delivery is timeless. I will say
It
that.
is. It's still Kendrick though, because of the agility though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
can't take that away.
it's like when two guys do the same thing as well at something, you always go with the athlete. And so in this conversation, Kendrick would be the athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cole would be the fundamentally sound player. Kendrick would be the athlete. Usually take the athlete over the fundamentally sound if things are comparable.
Okay. What other category you got?
Hooks.
Hooks. That's Cole.
Yep.
Live content. You know what? I'm cool with making that a tie.
Yes, sir.
Because, you know,
Kendrick,
even though
go ahead.
Kendrick takes it there, there's a lot of, I don't know, man. One thing I will say about Cole in relation to Kendrick when it comes to the content, Cole lets you know. I think Cole's a lot more vulnerable in the sense where if he doesn't know something, he'll let you know he doesn't know something.
He's honest.
Exactly.
He don't be lying and shit on the mic.
Yeah, whereas like Kendrick, you'll hear a lot of stuff that might be like, is that official? Or I'm gonna go back and research that. Let me go check that out.
You already know how I feel about it. It's like fam be saying some things sometimes. It's like, oh, is that word?
Yeah, he says some things sometimes where it's like, yeah, I totally disagree, but you know, I can respect the craft.
Mm-hmm.
Live performance, I'm giving that to Kendrick.
Yes, I had that down. I actually had two more left. One was live performance.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I had live performance and I had hits.
Who do you think has more hits? Because even though Kendrick doesn't seem to make quote unquote hit music, I think he has more hits.
You know what? We actually had a discourse about this on this show, and it's actually the people here in the chat that started naming off Cole stuff that made me feel totally different. Because think about this. No role models.
Yeah.
Wet Dreams. The A Lot record with 21 Savage. Power Trip with Miguel. Neighbors. The London track. The Love Yours. Apparently. Crooked Smile.
Kevin's Heart.
What's the other joint? The joint with Missy. Nobody's Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, when you say
that,
like
on the radio, I heard the record with Miguel more than I heard any Kendrick record on the radio.
Power Trip was a banger.
Crooked Smile too.
Deja Vu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nas the Goat with the super chat says, "Why is Lupe never included in the generation combo?" I think Lupe came during a cosmic shift in the record industry where, you know, things were moving from CD to digital.
Hold on, look. The ATM record on KOD.
Yeah.
He do got hits. He got hits everywhere,
he
actually.
Does have hits.
Pride is the devil.
Pride is the devil. Andre Shashir with the super chat says, Nas performed You Owe Me at his Chicago show I went to. I bet that was wild.
Oh, that's great. I'm happy to hear that he's performing that record. That doesn't change the fact that that album wasn't any good.
You didn't like You Owe Me? Owe Me Back.
Have you heard Timbaland's other beats? Why he giving Nas beats like that? You heard Timbaland's other beats that year?
I think not.
No, I don't like You Owe Me.
36 Chambers with the super chat says, maybe we need to distinguish between content and message. Kendrick tends to send a powerful message, even if wrong or misguided. He sways people into ways in ways Cole doesn't. And there's a reason K-Dot is a pop culture fixture. Thoughts?
I think he paid for that spot to be a pop culture fixture. And so that's usually how that happens.
It's an Interscope thing, you think?
It's an Interscope thing, yes.
And I got love for Interscope. They do a great job over there. I got some new beats, too, I got for Christmas.
Oh, that's what's up. I got a mic for Christmas for my daughter, obviously. Shout out to my daughter. First of all, I want to let all you podcasters know your daughters are whack compared to mine because your daughters didn't buy you no mic for Christmas. Get
Marquez
stuck,
Davis
man.
with the super chat says, this whole convo should put Kendrick in perspective because I was really never blown away by Kendrick lyrically. He can rap, but I never walked away like this dude is like pun or something. I think a lot of that is voice, though. I don't think he has a commanding voice on the mic, and I truly believe the way that he rhymes. Everybody's talking about Mickey Fax was barring up on the new album. Shout out to Mickey Fax. Talked to him a few weeks ago. Album is crazy. We're gonna have some discussions about that. Probably play some of that on the station here too. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think that if Kendrick had more of a commanding voice with those same lyrics, maybe people would feel different. But I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Does he have a Dream Shatterer lyrically? No, he doesn't. Does he have a John Blaze verse around that type of competition? No, he doesn't. Does he have a back and forth with the likes of a Black Thought like a super lyrical? That's why people don't look at him that way. Because here's the thing with Cole, and here's where I really would give Cole the nod. Hold on, because this is pretty close actually when you look at it. It's like, so it would go, Cole's got one, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 10 categories, right? We got Cole winning 1, 2, 3, 4. We got Kendrick winning 1, 2, 3, 4, and we got 2 ties. But guess who performs under pressure and with competition? Wasn't that Cole we just heard with Benny?
and who
Right?
didn't take a 5-year break? You know.
And didn't we hear Cole with Game? Ain't we heard Cole with Wale?
We've heard Kendrick with Game too. Let's not do that.
I'm running down a list. You get what I'm saying? Because there's a list of high quality people that Cole doesn't mind standing next to at the drop of a dime, no matter what era. Because the same way he'll work with those guys, it's like, oh, well, shit, he'll go do a record with 21. Lil Baby, today's era, like today's people's champs. You get what I'm saying? He does a record with anybody at the drop of a dime. Oh, Benny won a verse? Oh, you can catch this too. Everybody getting that work.
Even on the Jeezy record, where he featured both of them, and J. Cole came out rapping, and Kendrick came out singing. You remember that?
I'm trying to forget that.
I mean, that happened. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, man. Jeezy caught the short end of the stick on that because that was supposed to be an epic collaboration, and I'm pretty sure that Jeezy didn't sign on to this for Kendrick to go on there and sing. They wanted both of those guys to rap on the same track. I mean, it's kind of like a Nas and Jay-Z type of momentum building. You remember when Ludacris had that record with Nas and Jay-Z on it? Was that before Black Republican or slightly after?
Slightly after.
Slightly after. And yeah, and Jay came out there and kind of dialed it in. Hip hop started out in the park. So that's kind of what happened, but worse with the Jeezy record because Kendrick came out there singing, man. While Cole went out there spitting.
You got a record with Kanye, Pusha, Big Sean, and Sci-Hi. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody catching this work.
Yeah.
Everybody. I'm running down the list. Tiger. He done did Lil Wayne, Big Sean,
Let me ask you this.
Fabulous.
Who has more notable freestyles?
That's not even conversation. Chance the Rapper, Joey Badass, Jeezy, J-Rock, Wale, Moneybagg Yo, Anderson .Paak, J.I.D., Vince Staples, Earth Gang. Like everybody catching work. Young Thug.
You're right.
Cole work with all these cats. Cole will walk into your studio and work with anybody. That's what a real MC do.
You're right. Marquez Davis.
A real MC that got really bars, Mike. You notice an MC that really got bars, don't mind walking around anywhere with that shit. Like you'll walk around anywhere when you know you got it. It's like, oh, what you need? Need a verse? I'll be there too. Smoke the niggas in that studio too, and I come smoke these niggas when I'm done.
But Kendrick was on Control.
Don't nobody care about that, Mike. You don't even got the best verse on Control. Give a damn.
He said on Control that he was going to kill everybody on these verses.
Man, he couldn't even kill Jay Electronica on the third verse. Why don't you try killing the nigga that come after you on the song?
Marquez Davis with the super chat says, Cole rapped with Royce, Rhapsody, Wale, 21, Benny, Game, Jeezy. So right, Coop. And I dare say that he probably had the best verse on all those features.
It's a lie. That is a lie.
Who did he not have a better verse than?
Rhapsody's verse was better.
Think so?
It's literally her coming out party. It's literally the standout of the record.
NR with the super chat says, what did y'all think about the Black Friday remixes, Kendrick and Cole, some years ago? I think that was the last time they kind of rapped together. The Black Friday remixes was crazy, and once again, that's when I was like, full Kendrick is that dude. Kendrick's version of Cole's song was crazy. Kendrick was spitting, but see, what I'm starting to realize, I don't know how well those things translate when Kendrick's on records with other people, and I think it's the voice thing again. But if you take others out of the situation and it's just Kendrick, then yeah, he's killing it from beginning to end. Maybe that's why we don't get Ab-Soul and Schoolboy Q on these albums like we should, or J-Rock anymore either.
Because you might see a dead body.
Look inside my parking garage and see a collage of every person I despise since the moment I turned 5. Calculate my steps strategically, took my time. Even falling off, I land on the ass of Nicki Minaj. And I think a lot of people feel like J-Rock had the best verse on that song. And even though Schoolboy Q and Ab-Soul killed it too, like with Kendrick rapping like that on there, it wasn't like he just stole the show. That song kept going.
He's not a scene stealer as a guest appearance artist.
You know what? When Black Hippies together, the scene stealer is normally Schoolboy Q and Ab-Soul, to be real.
Yeah.
They got the kind of swag that you could jump on a record with others and take over a record.
Jay Electronica's better on Control. Pusha T's a draw on Nostalgia. He not like that on the guest appearances. Like he don't even have he doesn't even have one of those glorious feature runs that we usually get from our great artists. Like, even Face had a little feature run like where he was working with all the New York guys from like 98 to 01. Like, we don't have any of that from Kendrick. Like, we don't even look at all the stuff that Face did just in that little brief time with Nas and with the Rockefeller Camp. Like, In Between Us, Favor for a Favor, the Jay-Z and Beanie joints that he did, Somehow, Some Way. This can't be just those 5 records right there. It's like we don't even have nothing like that from Kendrick to even speak of, on top of like all Face classic records.
So saying all that to say, Kendrick's generation is what, 2011 to now. Let's just say that, right?
No, the 17. His generation is 2011 to 2017 because that's when he stopped rapping.
No, I mean, he's still out here. So
okay, is that what that is? That's what this album was? Is that outside?
Yeah, he's still out here.
He's still
one of the biggest. He's still one of the biggest names in hip hop.
It's like this album is like when you put on the wrong outfit and when you walk outside, all the homies should clown you, but because people like you, they just let you keep on coming back outside. No. Somebody need to tell your ass to go in the house and put on another outfit. You're making the neighborhood look bad.
This is still his generation. So I would say the best rapper of this generation, or the greatest rapper of this generation, is J. Cole. Even though Kendrick did make the stronger albums of the two, but if you talk about everything that this era encompasses, and we're talking about an era that is really not about album making per se. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I would have to give Cole the nod from 2011 to now. But if this was cut off at 2017, now it goes to Kendrick, in my opinion. But if we talking about 2011 to now, J. Cole's the greatest rapper of this era, in my opinion. And if somebody wants to say Drake because of the numbers, I can't knock it. You know what I mean? I just think that from a mic skills standpoint, I think that J. Cole's just the better MC. I think J. Cole just gives you pretty much everything that you're looking for in an MC.
Now, here's what I will say. If J. Cole's the best MC of this generation, I need him to release an album that's reflective of that. Because if he's the best MC of this generation, the Forest Hills Drive is the best thing that he has. That is what Kendrick fans can and will stand on. So he needs to create something. I don't know if Good Kid, Mad City is reachable or fair at this stage, possibly, because Nas has kind of changed the way that we looked at things. So are guys like Black Thought and Wayne, like all this late resurgence, and brilliance is changing things. But I would like to hear something superior to Forest Hills Drive to feel more comfortable saying that, because Kendrick does have Good Kid, Mad City, most notably, to tote around and be like, no, I can say that. But he also has To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn to back it up. And I think all 3 of those albums are better than Forest Hills Drive. I cannot disagree with that.
Yeah.
I cannot. And so for the Kendrick fans that feel that way, it's like, well, understand. It's like I'm a Kendrick fan. I know a lot of his stuff probably better than you all do. That's part of why I know that this album isn't good. I'm very, very clear on what I've heard before and what he's capable of. I've played Damn multiple times, and To Pimp a Butterfly again after putting it on hiatus because of this middling album that he just released. Good Kid, Mad City stays in rotation, Mike, and that's not to count Section 80. Like, no. He has it. He just didn't have it on this album, and he took a 5-year break. You take a 5-year break and you drop a dud, it's like, yeah, I am going to give the guy that was in second place first place, even if his catalog doesn't look as good, because that's usually how it goes. Remember when Carson Wentz was about to win the MVP, and then he got hurt, and Tom Brady was in second all year? Who won MVP?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't cut off the season at game 12. You got to play 16 games. He took 5 years off. That's like giving him the MVP award for playing 12 games when another guy played 16 with comparable numbers.
I think that and I said this the whole time during the break, like, the standard was already so high, but the standards get higher and higher the longer that you wait, because it's like, in the minds of the fans, we're like, it took you 5 years to make this? You know what I'm saying? And the only way that you could really justify the 5-year break was to come back with an epic effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is some, and I think he did come on some new shit. But I feel like this album is something that could have, chronologically, I mean, obviously he's going through different things in life, but chronologically, from a quality standpoint, this album should have dropped around 2019. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you something. Hold on. Let's give it some fair comparative analysis, if I may ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers better than the 18th Letter by Rakim?
I haven't listened to the 18th Letter in a long time, but from what I remember, I would say no.
Okay. Because there's not It's Been a Long Time, or The Saga Begins, or A New York, or even the intro. Like, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, Rakim took a 5-year break, and even though it definitely wasn't Follow the Leader or Paid in Full, or even Let the Rhythm Hit Him, it was none of those 3 albums, the same way this album isn't Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, or Damn. But what you had on the 18th Letter was proof, if you weren't there, that, yeah, that guy, I can see if you believe that guy, it might be 1997 if you told me that this guy was the best guy who ever rapped 10 years. No, I can hear what you're talking about. No, but I will
say this. From a rapping standpoint, if somebody who wasn't around for Kendrick and they heard him rapping on this album, they might not really be with the songs like that, but I think that his skill set is undeniable.
No, see, but that's what I'm saying. It's deeper than your skill set when you're considered the best. When I said Rakim, I said, no. You could still hear how people would consider that he was the best, as in the music translates. As in, It's Been a Long Time, and The Saga Begins, in New York. Like, those translate, Mike.
Somebody in the chat said his auntie wasn't a man in 2019. That's a fair point.
Be quiet.
It's a fair point.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it translates. Like, when I hear The Saga Begins, it's like, oh, no. It's like, no. That guy was the greatest MC at some point. No. I hear it. There's nothing on this album that makes me say that I don't. The guy that's on Element and on Feel and on DNA, he is nowhere to be found on this album. There's evidence that the guy that was on Don't Sweat the Technique and Let the Rhythm Hit Him still existed on the 18th Letter. There's not even any existence of the guy that was on Damn It to Pimp a Butterfly.
I slightly disagree with you.
Don't give me this writing stuff. Give me the songs that correlate.
You're talking about the full songs, but as an MC,
he makes music for a living.
His last verse on Auntie's Diaries, and his last verse on My Sober. But see, My Sober is kind of like that question mark record that was on To Pimp a Butterfly, where it's like, I can understand where it's coming from, and artistically it's incredible, but I haven't listened to that song since May, I don't think.
Because it's not good.
You know, but again, this is hip hop, and and I think that we expect our MCs to rap, and he took a lot of breaks on that level too. It's not a lot of epic MCing, even though there is some very, very dope writing. And I think Kendrick is extremely Andre 3000 centric when it comes to influence and, who he's influenced by. Because to some degree, this album is very Love Below-ish without the funk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to move away from the rapping type thing because it felt like this album, even though he's doing some rapping on there, it didn't feel like he enjoyed rapping on there. You know what I mean?
Go do something else.
Count Me Out, stuff like that. You know what I'm
Go
saying?
do something else. Go do something else.
But again,
if you feel that way about rap, that's what I'm saying. For all these dudes that be feeling this way about rap, go do something else. Let me know how that goes. This
is the thing, Coop.
We're going to support you. I bought the Love Below.
Yeah, this is the thing, though.
I downloaded this piece of garbage that he just made.
When albums like this or the Love Below come out, somehow your stock gets raised in the rap community, even though they're not really rap albums. Like, they're talking about him being the greatest rapper of this generation, where this isn't really... It's a rap album, but it's more of a poetry album when it comes to the spitting, and a lot of it's harmonizing, But we could say that there are a lot of blurred lines when it comes to what's rapping in 2022 anyway. But I think a lot of people have brought that back. If you are confused with what MCing is, you can go pick up KD3. You can go pick up Cheat Codes. You can go pick up Soul Sold Separately. It's a lot of rapping on there.
A lot of rapping on there.
Some rapping. Yes. You got one guy who's the greatest MC of all time rapping just for 17 straight songs by himself with no help,
Absolutely no help.
Absolutely no help. Speaking
not
of...
when a motherfucker on a hook.
Did you see Math Hoffa's list that everybody's talking about?
I did.
All right, let's go to it. Math Hoffa, I know a lot of y'all probably listen to his podcast. Shout out to him. They do a great job over there. He put out a list that, kind of got people talking.
I watch his podcast the most of all the podcasts that I watch. I guess kind of like when you're in this foray, you start checking for other cats and stuff. Mm-hmm. His podcast is the pod that I watch the most. I find them to be the most entertaining and insightful, and I love the comfortable interview setting for the artist.
Okay. Math Hoffa says top hip hop groups of all time. Wu-Tang number 1. Not really surprised with that one. The Lox number 2. G-Unit number 3. Tribe Called Quest 4. Outkast 5. Fuji 6. Run DMC 7. Onyx 8. 3 6 Mafia 9. Goody Mob 10. Camp Lo 11. I like that pick. Dipset 12. And Das Effects 13. I'm going to get to your list in a second, Coop. What were your thoughts about this list off of initial viewing?
A few things. I'm actually doing quick bullet points on what those thoughts were because I knew you were about to ask me that. The first thing that I thought about was this, because I knew people were going to say this when he put Wu-Tang at number 1. Wu-Tang is the greatest group of all time. And this is why. Because they changed the way that we all had to look at the group. They were truly the first group that had multiple stars that viably needed to go solo in order for this to work and come to full fruition. Every other group before them really never broke off like them, and there is no solo star. I think Grand Puba breaking off and doing Puba 2000 in 1995 would probably be the only other time you will see a artist before Wu-Tang Clan breaking off. But even when he broke off, Mike, he broke off after Wu-Tang. And around the time that Tikal and Return to the 36 Chambers was coming out. That's how serious Wu-Tang Clan's impact and imprint is. Well, motherfuckers didn't really go solo and fly like that before Wu-Tang.
Yeah, because if you broke off from the group,
fly before Wu-Tang.
If you broke off from the group was broken up at that point. I'm trying to think of somebody who didn't. Yeah.
I mean, and even for those that did, listen to what I'm saying, Mike. Well, it was over for them. Grand Puba's solo career didn't go anywhere, and Brand Nubian came back together and did one album, I believe 1999, that was pretty dope. Matter of fact, I believe that got released on the that's the 5th album from the Volume 2 day.
Hold on 1 second. What about Scarface? Because Scarface actually released solo material and Ghetto Boys material before Wu-Tang dropped.
Okay, he would be the anomaly.
Yeah.
He would be the
I just want to
anomaly.
make
but
sure
also,
we're not
too,
missing anybody.
But you want to know what, too? But here's what I'm saying, though. Well, his solo catalog is way better than the Ghetto Boys catalog. His solo greatness actually dwarfed the Ghetto Boys greatness. Like, he's higher up on the solo list than the Ghetto Boys is on a group list.
You think Ghetto Boys should be on this list?
Well, they're on mine on the back end of the 20, but what I'm saying is his Face is a top 5 to 10 MC. Ghetto Boys is not a top 5 to 10 group. But Wu-Tang's the best because of that, though. That's what I'm saying is like, and this is what I'm saying. Listen to what I said. No, one star. Scarface was the star of the Ghetto Boys. Wu-Tang's not like that. Like, there's a Method Man sitting there next to Old Dirty Bastard.
Hold on. You don't think Bushwick's the star?
Not like Old Dirty Bastard.
No, that I
It's not the same level.
But
like, how about this? I mean, if you want to be honest, if you're talking about star power and appeal, well, Face is not even the star that Meth and Dirty are. If you really want to be honest with it. So think about this. This is a group that exists that has Method Man and Old Dirty Bastard in it. And they're not even the nicest guys in the crew, technically, MC-wise, Mike. We never seen anything like that. Like, their two stars aren't even technically their best MCs. Because if you listen to Enter the Wu-Tang, the Chiz is the best MC. If you listen to Enter the Wu-Tang. And you could argue Deck and Ray are better lyrically than Dirty and Meth on Enter the Wu-Tang. So you have 5 guys that you're listening to without bringing up Ghostface at all, who ends up being the best in the crew.
Right.
And it's like there are stars everywhere. And then you couple in the fact that their debut album is one of the 10 best rap albums ever made. Yes, it is. There are not 10 rap albums better than Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers.
They're like an all-star squad where you drafted all of these guys.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
You want to know what it is? It's very comparable to the fact that what OKC had very own. It's like you had Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Serge Ibaka, like on the team at the same time playing basketball together. Right. It's like we sure did.
Yep.
We fucked it up. But yeah, like that's what it's like. It's like having the Showtime Lakers. We got Magic, we got Worthy, we got Kareem. We got Michael Cooper.
Hold on. You think they fucked it up? I don't think they fucked it up. I think that they just couldn't pay everybody.
No. They could have paid James Harden. They chose to pay Serge Ibaka instead of James Harden. That definitely cost them some rings.
In the Coop, you know what? It's revisionist history, but it wasn't a bad move at the time.
Yes, it was.
It was.
James Harden was a 6th man of the year.
He
around
was.
That time.
No, James Harden.
He's a better point guard than Russell Westbrook.
I understand what you're saying.
The next year.
I understand.
They would have won the championship.
Let me finish though. I understand what you're saying. I remember
they would have won the championship the next.
You're not gonna let me talk.
It's ridiculous what they did. It's some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you. I disagree with you because you know what? That year I was actually playing fantasy basketball and I had Serge Ibaka. And a lot of the things that he was giving you from a defensive standpoint, you want to talk about defense. Nobody was giving that type of shit at that juncture in that season. Like he was getting you all kind of blocks. And so the way they figured it, we got our big man here. We got KD, who's the best pure scorer in the game, and you got Russell Westbrook here, and we got a guy who's a 6th man. I think that the decision really was between Russell and Harden. I don't think they believed that Russell and Harden could coexist on the same squad. So I don't think it was a misstep per se at the time for them to pay Serge instead of Harden because I think they felt like Harden and Westbrook canceled each other out. Now I think when Ibaka had to start stepping out, shooting jump shots and stuff, it looked crazy. But he was there to be the defensive presence, which he was, but that kind of minimized over time, unfortunately.
I literally did a Facebook post about this when it happened. And I'm going to say this again. What's going on with the Lakers now is what I suggested should happen all along. Very early on, I saw that team playing. I said the offense actually runs better when James Harden is running the point guard and Kevin Durant is on the floor with him. If they will make Russell Westbrook the 6th man and make James Harden the point guard of that team, this team's going to win the championship because Westbrook gets to take the ball himself without KD and do whatever he wants on his free time. And in Harden, KD has a real facilitator. Their mistake was in decision making about who playing point guard. As in, you had really 2 point guards, and you put them in the wrong position. As in, one guy should have been starting, and the other guy, who's the ball hog and the glory hog and the turnover machine, who can't shoot, that's your 6 man.
Cool.
Not the guy who can handle the ball. No. The offense ran better with Harden.
I hear what you're saying.
Off the bench. It's very much like how the Spurs played better when Manu came off the bench, because him and Parker really didn't coexist like that because Manu needed the ball more.
That's different. And you know what? It's like,
no, it's not. It's the same thing.
Listen, I think you're looking at this like in theory, on paper, or like on a
video
game.
Like they fucked up.
No,
like
let me talk real quick, man. In a video game, yes, but let's keep it real, man. Westbrook nor Harden was gonna sit here and take no fucking 6-man role their whole career. They just were not. And they were going to get paid by somebody, and they were going to leave. Manu was cool with doing that because Manu knew that he wasn't going to go to Houston or something and take over and be a scoring champion. It's different. I think that OKC understood we got to pick between Westbrook and Harden. Now, if your thing is they should have picked Harden over Westbrook, I'm cool with that. But to think that you're going to have a guy like Westbrook who can average a triple-double in a season, sit on the bench, and come off the bench, it's not going to happen. He's going to go take a max
Kevin
contract
Durant is
somewhere.
What matters.
He's just
Either
not.
One of those guys are Kevin Durant. That's what matters.
I hear what you're saying in theory and on paper, but let's just keep it real. These guys are all-star calibers, and shit with Westbrook, he's a top 75 player. I think Harden is too, right? They're not going to sit here and be no 6 man.
Kevin Durant's a top 10 player.
I understand what you're saying, but these guys are pretty good too. These guys are pretty good too. They're not going to sit here and bow to that.
At the point guard, putting Russell Westbrook at point guard instead of James Harden is not beneficial to the best player on the team.
I hear
that
what
makes
you're
it
saying.
A mistake.
So what do you think? So you think Serge is the mistake, or you think that the fact that they let go of Harden and kept Westbrook?
No. First of all,
because it sounds like you're saying they should have kept Westbrook and Harden, and I don't think
exactly what I'm saying.
That wasn't going to happen. That wasn't going to happen. You think either one of them is going to sit there and be a 6-man? They're not. Those are max money players. Those are guys. You got one guy who averaged,
just went to the NBA Finals. Yes, they would have.
They don't give a fuck about that, Coop. They trying to get paid.
Started to ascend. They weren't the stars of that team. It was Kevin Durant's team.
They're trying to get paid.
No, you're looking at the Russell Westbrook and the James Harden that we're remembering now. They weren't like that at 22 years old.
What do you mean they weren't like that at 22 years old? Harden.
They were cool with their roles at 22 years old because them, along with the 23-year-old Kevin Durant, had just went to the NBA Finals and challenged the Heatles.
You're looking at this like a fan of Durant. These guys know that they're pretty good, and they went out there and showed how good they were after they left Durant. They knew they could do these things. They were not going to be 6-man. Like, you're not going to sit here and re-sign. And that's the reason why OKC...
Back up. This is what I'm trying to express to you. What have they done exactly since they've been without Kevin Durant?
They put up individual numbers and got max contracts. That's what they care about.
They're going to get that out of OKC.
You're not going to get a max contract and be a 6-man. You're not.
They were going to get that out of OKC.
You're not going to get a max contract. Because if you get a quote-unquote max contract...
No, you're forgetting that at 22 years old, these two guys, along with the 23-year-old Kevin Durant, went to the NBA Finals, Mike. It's not like they were some sort of team. No, it's not like they were some sort of team on the come up. They were there already.
You're talking about something different. This isn't Manu Ginobili. This is somebody who's out here trying to get a max contract, who's trying to get paid, and you're not going to get paid being no damn 6-man. You're just not. That's why OKC paid Serge, because they understood these positions clash. Now, if you feel like they should have paid Harden over Westbrook, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Like, that makes sense. But the fact that you think that they were going to keep Westbrook, Harden, and Durant and have one of them come off the bench, that wasn't going to happen. They would have ended up losing
how about this?
Anyway.
Well, how about this? A worst case scenario is that you swap Westbrook to the 2 and you insert James into the starting lineup. But
there's only one ball out there.
You were literally sitting on the future because you want to know what happened? Is essentially what Golden State ended up doing is what OKC had first.
No.
They had that type of team. Yes, they did.
No.
They had that type of team first. They had that type of floor spacing when Harden stepped on the floor with them.
There's a different mentality between Steph and Clay in relation to Westbrook and Harden. These
Here's what I'll
guys
tell you.
need the ball.
Here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you. Russell Westbrook and James Harden have really done since they left Kevin Durant. Not win any championships and not put up the numbers that he's put up because they're not him. They should have just got their ass in line. This is what I mean. When you are playing with a generational player, that changes things, Mike. When LeBron steps onto the floor, that changes things. When Kevin Durant steps onto the floor, that changes things.
I understand what you're saying.
Changes things. Akeem Olajuwon, Shaq, Kobe. No. That's different. It's like the whole mentality and the way that you should operate as an organization and the players within that organization is different when certain players step on the floor. Kevin Durant's one of those players. So the way that you're talking about how Westbrook and Harden are thinking, if they're thinking like that while they're in the gym with Kevin Durant, they apparently haven't been watching what I was watching, which is somebody who's far superior to them then and now.
I think
they're
they
both
know
on the decline. And where is he? He's an MVP candidate, and they're a championship contender. And both of those guys are the sixth man and the third option, and they're on the decline because they were never the fucking man like that. Never.
We're talking about two different things. These guys wanted to get paid in their prime, and they weren't going to get paid. They were not going to get paid like that.
You get paid when you win. You get paid the most when you win. Michael Jordan said it best. Michael Jordan said it best.
The main guy does, not the number 2 and the number 3, and especially not the 6th man. They don't. Ask Scottie Pippen.
What I'm trying to tell you, all they got is the same endorsement deals and max contracts they was going to get from OKC, but they didn't win shit.
So did Scottie Pippen get paid?
Contracts. They gave Serge the money. That's what I'm saying. Stop acting like the money wasn't there. If there was money to play Russell and Serge, that means there was money to play Russell and James. Hello.
But again, if you lose Serge, if you lose your rim protector, and you're sitting here with 2 clashing guards, you're going to lose one of them anyway. They can't play together. There's only one. Because you know what will happen, Coop?
It should be clashing. Should be passing the ball to Kevin and shutting
But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
Well, that's their
They're
problem.
not going to do that
because
you know what? You can't get no max. You can't get a max contract.
Pass him the ball.
You're talking about something different. You can't get a max.
Basketball.
Yeah, you are talking about basketball, but these guys have individual livelihoods and individual contracts, and they're not going to get max contracts for just passing him the ball, especially when they got the skill set that they do.
Magic
it is
Johnson
what it is.
built a whole empire passing.
You got one guy. Okay. You got a guy who averaged a triple-double twice in a season, and you got another guy who has scoring titles. What is he, like 7th or something all time? Or, he's one of the highest scorers of his generation. You wanted them to sit there at OKC and pass KD the ball. That's not going to happen. It's just not. He's not Ginobili.
He's better than you. Is he better? Is he better than you?
No, he's not. But even with that being said, these guys were able to get max contracts.
I get that.
You want them to get paid $20 million?
There's a hierarchy. Mike, basketball works in a hierarchy. Best player get the ball. At what point was James Harden or Russell Westbrook ever better than Kevin Durant?
James Harden was the best player when he went to Houston. So,
best player what?
On Houston.
No, he's the best player on a team. But when was he ever better than Kevin Durant?
He's not.
Right.
That's why he had to go get his max contract.
But pass the ball, nigga.
So you wanted him to sit there and take less to pass the ball to KD. That wasn't going to happen, man.
Is he a point guard?
He's a shooting guard, I thought.
I mean, technically both of these guys were shooting guards, but, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, when you have arguably the greatest offensive force of this generation and maybe all time, just maybe your scoring isn't what needs to be like the precipice of your game.
You're talking about something different. You're talking about what's best for the... You're talking about what's best.
Most of the niggas that's not as good at scoring shouldn't be shooting the ball as much.
Do you not understand what I'm saying? You're talking about what's best for the team. I'm talking about these guys did what was best for them. And the team saw that, obviously, and they paid the person that was going to fit.
Hold on. They did what's best for them?
Huh?
They did what's best for them?
Yeah.
Right, it's a team game. That's why they ain't got no rings. Next topic.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they still got their checks. And that's what they wanted.
It was going to get them checks regardless, Mike. But okay.
Not being no 6 man.
They gave Serge like $72 million. They was going to get them checks.
But he was a starter. Tell me a 6 man that's out here making max money.
Okay, and like I said, then put James Harden in the starting lineup. Problem solved.
That wasn't going to work. Then that would have been an issue too. You're telling me KD's going to get the ball.
Westbrook and James Harden played in the starting lineup together in Houston.
So you're telling me they did, but they didn't have KD there. And so you're telling me that Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and KD there, and KD's going to get the ball with those 2 guys.
Okay, so let's
Come
have a
on.
little revisionist history. This is not the James Harden and Russell Westbrook that you're talking about. This is Russell Westbrook that's averaging 19 points and James Harden averaging 15 points at 22 years old. Kevin Durant at 23 years old was averaging 30 and won the scoring title. Fuck yeah, you give him the ball.
But as soon
He's
as
clearly
James
superior
Harden left,
to you at this point. Like the offseason didn't change that drastically. Like you niggas didn't magically become 30-point per game scorers. Like overnight. You don't go from 15 points 19. No, Mike.
Well, cool.
No, it just don't happen like that.
What did James Harden
was
average?
averaging 15 points a game.
I hear you.
He was literally averaging double. He won
But
the scoring title that year at 23
let me ask
years
you
old,
this.
Mike.
Cool. Let me ask
I'm
you
making
this.
it seem like James Harden was like some sort
No.
of-
Look up what James Harden averaged as soon as he left OKC. What did he
Usage
average?
rate.
Huh?
Yes. No. He's
So he was
phenomenal.
still that guy. He just didn't get the minutes. That's how he was looking at it. So you wanted him to continuously suppress his talent just so they could possibly win a ring and KD could get bumped up even more. He wasn't going to do that.
Don't you know Larry Bird could have went and averaged like 40 points a game?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't
It's
you
a
understand
different
Michael
time,
Jordan
bro.
didn't win? No, don't you understand Michael Jordan didn't win until he passed the ball?
It's a different
Don't you understand
time.
Magic Johnson suppressed his number the whole career about winning basketball games?
And they weren't seeing the kind of money these guys are seeing. It's different.
You're right, because they damn sure don't got Magic Johnson money. Magic still got money than all the niggas, and more money than all the niggas you talking about. What is you talking
Well,
about?
I don't know what people got personally, but I'm just saying the NBA contracts. It's different. Guys ain't gonna sit here and take no cut, and I can't expect people to do that.
Want to know? But this is what I'm saying. They still don't have more money than Magic because Magic's a winner, and that winning built him a whole brand outside of this business.
Well, Magic's Magic, and this is the thing, Coop.
Magic's Magic because he won.
I hear you, but let's not sit here and act like if James Harden wins with KD, he's Magic. No, KD's Magic. He's worthy, right? Not even because Worthy's actually no. Worthy wasn't even coming off the bench. You wanted him to come off the bench. That's not happening.
Worthy's a Hall of Famer.
He is.
James
Harden's going to be a Hall of Famer too.
How about this? James Worthy in the playoffs is better than Russell Westbrook and James Harden.
James Harden's going to be in the Hall of Fame too.
James Worthy already there, and he's a better clutch player than
Well, he's old. Of course he's there. But James Harden's first guy.
There's nothing wrong with being James Worthy. James Worthy's a better big game player than both them niggas. If they played the way he played the big game, they might already have a ring.
As great as James Worthy was, I think that James Worthy could have been better if he was on the team without those guys statistically. But if we want to talk about all-time ranking or whatnot, people are going to rank James Harden over James Worthy. It is what it is. And that's because he's separated. And that's what he wanted. Just Run with the super chat. We're way off topic. Let's get back real quick. Just You Run with the super chat says Kendrick had a stronger start than Cole. Cole was stronger in the end. Kendrick's way better with albums. It's all about albums too. Meth had great features, but 15 rappers I'll put ahead because of the albums. That's fair. I mean, and I think that's the biggest knock on Meth too. Andre Shashir says, Mike, he revised that list. So go to his Instagram. Okay. We'll go to his Instagram. I want to see the first list because your first thought is what you really mean. Real Ones 88 with the super chat says, are y'all familiar with King Los? And have you heard the GOAT tape too? Los is definitely a tier above K-Dot and Cole lyrically. And Drillmatic was album of the year in my opinion. Drillmatic had a lot on it. King Los is that dude lyrically. Like King Los takes it somewhere else with the freestyles. I would like to hear King Los, Sci-Hi, and Mickey Fax in a cypher. That'd be some crazy shit. I'm gonna get to this list. I want to get to the super chats because I know we're way behind. Go ahead.
Have you ever seen a more unselfish scorer than Kevin Durant? Have you ever seen somebody score so easily while sharing the ball?
No.
You understand that he doesn't take 20 shots a game like almost everybody else.
I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with any of that.
So they were playing with the type of all-time great player where they get their shots off, much like Magic, much like Bird,
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
KD passes the ball. Steph and Clay's numbers did not change when KD came into town.
They had a system.
No.
And they're not selfish. They never were.
Hold on, say that again.
They're not selfish. And again, OKC as an organization, they understand their players. They drafted these motherfuckers. They know how great they are. They made a decision based on those things. And I think on paper it looks crazy. I don't think they made the wrong decision. I don't. I don't. I think if there is a wrong decision to be made, maybe they should have kept Harden over Westbrook. But as far as paying Ibaka and letting one of them go, that's the move they had to make. Because they weren't going to be able to keep Westbrook and Harden and KD. They weren't.
I ain't never seen nobody score the ball like KD be willing to share. So Mike don't.
No, he's
Mike,
incredible.
What I'm saying is he's a Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant type of scorer, but like he shares. That's Larry Bird. Like it's like, no, he can go get 30, 40 when he feels like it, but he'll take 20 shots and keep it right there to make sure that the flow of the game is happening for his teammates to score.
And
so it's like they were going to get shine, they were going to get money, they were going to get endorsements, they were going to be the next dynasty. Klay Thompson got crazy endorsements from them winning. Neither one of those guys. Klay's not better than Harden or Westbrook in an all-time spectrum. But because that team won, Mike.
Cool. I hear you.
Won.
I hear you. But you
winning
don't think
trumps everything in sports when it comes to getting your motherfucking money.
You're
because
talking
winning
about
you can take with you forever.
Listen, you're talking about
take winning with you forever.
I hear you, man. I feel you. But listen, this organization that was smart enough to draft these guys and some more great talent. You don't think that they saw that James Harden was going to be the James Harden that he became, and they let him go off the strength of that? They knew that from an ego standpoint, he wasn't going to do what we could think he could do on paper in this chemistry. They kept Westbrook.
Did it in Brooklyn.
They kept Westbrook.
He did it in Brooklyn.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He was leading the league in assists in Brooklyn, and his scoring went down to 21 points a game.
And what did that end up doing?
Because James Harden is a real point guard.
And what did that end up doing?
If you would have given him the bag,
and that was
he would have played point guard for you.
Again, they chose Westbrook. Again, I feel you on the whole thing. Like if they should have chose him over Westbrook, they chose Westbrook on the strength of the fact that Westbrook was their starting point guard, and he took them to the NBA Finals. And let's keep it a real, man. Let's not have revisionist history. Harden came up small in the finals, did he not?
So did Russ.
They saw those things. Russ played better. Russ played better in the finals than Harden did. Both of them came up a little small, but Harden came up small in the playoffs. He always does that, right? They made their decision on who they were going to keep between those two based on the chemistry that Westbrook and Durant had. And I think that the way that Harden was playing in the finals. If Harden would have given you what he normally gives you in the finals, that finals would have been a lot more close. You can go back and look those numbers up, because I do remember that as well.
Oh, no, he was horrendous in those finals.
Yeah.
And Westbrook was a turnover machine.
And again,
Kevin Durant averaged 30 points and shot 52% from the field, though. And so that's what I'm saying.
We're all on the same page with Durant.
Listen to what you're saying. You're talking about these guys' egos. It's like both of y'all bombed out in the finals while KD averaged 30 against LeBron and shot 52% from the floor. That should have been the humbling experience to put people in their proper positions.
It didn't, though. Brandon Sloan with the Super Chat says, name a better Cole hook than Kenny on Money Trees. Yeah, does Cole have a better hook than Kenny on Money Trees? Holly Berry.
Money Trees is pretty special. I'd have to think about that. I can't think of anything like off the top of my head. But Money Trees is arguably like Kendrick's best record too, wouldn't you say?
I think it's up there.
Yeah.
Man, we have gone way off course. Let me make sure we get to these super chats, because I know I haven't been able to get to super chat in a second since we've been going back and forth on this. Okay, I think we're caught.
Good.
All right. So let me get to this list. The locks being number 2.
That's a problem.
This is my thing with the Wu-Tang, and I want to say this about Wu-Tang and the locks. Because when I make a group list and when I think about a group list, I think about the projects that were made as a group. Now, when you start including everything with Wu-Tang, obviously you do have to give them props for being able to do that, because like you said, no one else has been able to do that, and that's a tall feat in itself. But I think he's given the locks the same credit as Wu-Tang, like awarding them for their individual feats and not the group feats. You know what I'm saying? Like, as individuals, yes, you'll be hard pressed to find a group with nicer individuals than Jada, Styles, and Sheik. But as a group, if you talk about Locks albums and you match them up against Mobb Deep albums, match them up against Outkast albums, match them up against Tribe albums. Nah. And we can say the same thing for Wu-Tang too. Like 36 is 36, one of the greatest hip hop albums ever. Wu-Tang Forever, dope album. I don't know if it's top 50. But everything else is like,
No,
the
the W is
W,
good. You
it
don't
has
like the
its
W?
moments. But yeah, if you talk about the discography as a group, it's not number one caliber, but I understand.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you is that, and here's what I've realized through our personal favorite group, Mike, Outkast. Well, that solo album stuff matters, and the live performance matters about the longevity and greatness of your group. And so part of why Wu-Tang Clan is number one isn't about necessarily even the high quality of the solo albums. It's about keeping the brand and the name and the classics alive. You see, they still perform Wu-Tang Clan songs. They still do stuff that keeps that name and that brand alive. And so I'm not saying that the solo work should matter in the context of, well, the quality, because if it's the quality, Wu-Tang's blowing everybody out the water. But Mike, about keeping your group alive, that's why it's Wu-Tang Forever, because they have their imprints and their footprints everywhere,
Right.
because they went out here and put out major work in the business, and they get to reap the benefits of that. You want to know what some of the benefits are? We're the greatest rap group ever. We're everywhere.
They are.
You can't deny us.
They are.
So solo albums matter. Not about the quality, about bringing it back home to the group. It's why I got Tribe at number 2 on mine.
It's a travesty. The Eminem is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Wu-Tang and A Tribe Called Quest. I mean, with all of those things being mentioned. I'm looking up Math Hoffa's revised list, and he throws Mobb Deep in at number 3. And let me see what the other major differences are. I mean, I don't see how you forget about Mobb Deep. It sounds like people told him to put Mobb Deep in there.
Well, it's funny that he missed it, because one of the things that I noticed about the list, Mike, and I felt the list in the spirit of it, it was you could tell it was a New York, New Jersey guy. You know? Could you tell, like, when Camp Lo and Das EFX made the list, I was like, oh, he's from New York, New Jersey. Like,
yeah, the Goody Mob entry was interesting to me, too.
Goody's got rep
NWA,
everywhere.
he threw NWA at 9. And so, yeah, NWA is in between Run DMC and Bone. And then he threw UGK in at 15. I think those are the major. Oh, G Unit falls from 3 to 7. I don't think he's trolling, guys. I think he tried to improve this list. I'm going to go off of this list because really it doesn't seem like any major changes. It just looks like he caught some heat from some Mobb Deep fans, some NWA fans.
Right.
That's
you
what
just
it
doing a little
sounds like
personal
to
page
me.
list right quick. That's all that was.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like. Because Wu-Tang and the Lox are still number 1 and 2. And Tribe is still number 4. Outkast is still number 5. Fugees is still 6. Listen. Again, I think that the G Unit thing is factoring in the individual careers of Lloyd Banks, 50 Cent, Young Buck, not really the group effort. So I guess I view groups different. I view groups in the sense like Tribe, Public Enemy still not on his revised list. Those are groups to me. Those are group albums. You know what I mean? Outkast, I know somebody said duos are different than groups. I feel that. Gangstar's not on here. What do you think about that?
I miss Gangstar too, and I miss Beastie Boys. So these lists aren't easy, Mike. Hip hop is in a place where there's a depth and there's a dearth of things. Here's what I'll tell you. Just to the whole NWA, like Mobb Deep, and like all that thing, like. I don't know how old Hoffa is. I think he might be a little younger than us. Like, Cat's younger than us, even if it's like 3, 4, 5 years. NWA, Run DMC, Public Enemy, Beastie Boys, even Gangstar to a degree. Like, yeah, like, it don't register as much. Like, I miss Beastie Boys and Gangstar today. And Cypress. Well, I mean, Cypress Hill probably wasn't gonna make my top 20, but it's deep like that. Like if I was going back, I'd probably take the Far Side and the Dog Pound off, to make the West Coast mad, and put Gangstar and Beastie Boys on.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean is like I felt the sentiment of his list. These lists are hard to do. A lot of it is about your personal preference. Hey, Mike, just real quick, because I just want people to understand this right quick. In the 2012 NBA Finals,
Oh my God.
Russell Westbrook took 16 more shots than Kevin Durant.
So they
But
should have
he
got
only
rid of
shot
him.
43% from the field, while Kevin Durant shot 54% from the field.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just as much Kevin Durant's fault as it is Russell Westbrook. When you're that guy like that,
No, the
you better
point guard
demand the
determines who
situation.
gets the ball on
I
every
feel
team.
you, but if he says, yo, this nigga needs to get me the ball, he needs to get him the ball. You better believe it ain't going to be no point guard out there telling Kobe and Michael that they ain't getting the ball.
All I'm trying to tell you is that he shot 43%, shot
I feel
16
you.
more shots than
But
the greatest
KD
scorer
being that
we
guy, he needs to open his mouth and make sure that doesn't happen. I think what KD used to do, and
When somebody
I'm going to say
leaves,
this and
Mike,
move
that's
on.
kind of letting you know that they've said that.
But
He
it's,
left. It's like he kind of said that.
he did it in a way.
Do you honestly think that this man left that situation without addressing that issue?
Yes.
I don't
Because you
believe
know
that
what
at
I
all.
feel about KD, and I'm going to say this and move on because I know we can get on this soapbox forever. What KD used to do, he allowed Westbrook to go out there and take all the bad shots so he could get good shots.
That is not true.
That's what he did.
That is a lie.
It's not a lie. Because
Okay, so
Westbrook
here's how
used
I
to take all kind of heat.
here's how I feel about the Dipset and the G units, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
In order for you to be considered a group truly, the group work needs to be your first piece of solo material. Now, Wu-Tang Clan solo work outweighs their group material. They're a group first.
Yeah.
Because Into the Wu-Tang is the first time you hear them. People's Instinctive, first time you hear Fife and Q. Get what I'm saying? So that's part of it. So like people like West Side Connection, Dipset, G Unit, those collectives, no, that's not a group.
Yeah. That's
Dipset,
different.
like Cam is like on album number 2 or 3 before they do a Dipset album. No, that's different. Y'all not New Edition?
This is what I would say about the
Love some
Lox.
New Edition.
This is what I'm gonna say about the Lox,
Ricky
the
Ryan?
Lox, the G Unit, and Dipset entries. If these guys are in there and ranked so high, NWA needs to be damn near number 1. NWA needs to be right after Wu-Tang because now we're counting America's Most. Now we're counting The Chronic. Now we're counting, you know what I'm saying, Eazy-E shit. Now we're counting Death Certificate. You know what I'm saying? If that's the mentality, NWA's the greatest group ever then. Either them or Wu-Tang. But see, that's why I only count the group
what,
shit.
Mike? You want to know what? When you say it from that perspective, I'm totally okay with putting them at number 2 on from that perspective.
Yeah, if it's like that. But see, I don't rate it like that. I rate it based on what the group efforts were. And even
But
if you
here's
just
what I
count
mean.
the group efforts.
Well, hold on,
impact.
but here's what I mean, and this is why Ghetto Boys is lower too, and this is why NWA is lower. Well, none of those guys that went solo really tried to keep NWA alive. Wu-Tang Clan,
Yeah, you're right.
keep Wu-Tang Clan alive. They come back home. You hear Wu-Tang shout. You hear the Wu-Tang shout-outs. You see the Wu-Tang members jump on the album. They talk about how Wu-Tang's gonna be here forever on the solo albums.
You're right.
That's different. When Dre went solo, fuck NWA. Ice Cube solo, fuck NWA.
No, you're
Eazy-E, fuck Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. That ain't the same. Number
Yeah, you're
7. Can I say something right quick? The whole Lox thing, because I've seen people giving me a little pushback today. Like, and this is why group and solo material matters. I think when people look at the Lox, you're thinking about who you hear. You're hearing Jada Kiss and Styles So Long and solo MCs and all the bar work that they put in. And it's like they're missing something very, very important in this group and even solo catalog conversation, Mike, which is the classics.
Yeah.
They don't have any group classics. They don't have any solo classics.
It's true.
And so for as great as they are as MCs individually and even the back and forth together, like they're 14 on my list because it's like I'm not putting you ahead of anybody who I know got like certified classics. And I have Goody Mob right after them, and I felt funny about doing that.
Yeah, I think that's more of a longevity conversation. You know, when it comes to the group efforts, I think the Goody Mob made better albums than the Lox. But
Yes.
if somebody wants to put the Lox ahead of Goody Mob just from a longevity standpoint, I can't knock that because
Well, how about this? Their two best
There's something
albums.
to be said about the Lox longevity. You know, I got to give them credit for that.
No, and here's why I put Goody Mob right after him. Well, Goody Mob's two best albums are better than the Lox two best albums to me.
Oh yeah.
But if I'm picking the two best MCs from the 3 and 4 man collectives, well, it's like, well, they got the 1 and the 2 in my opinion. They got Kiss and Styles. That'd be 1 and 2, and then CeeLo would be third. And Gift probably.
I personally think that CeeLo's a better MC than Styles, but maybe I'm biased.
You have no proof. You have no proof of that, though.
I got all kinds of proof.
No, you don't. Name CeeLo's best solo record as an
CeeLo,
MC.
big old words.
If that's what you got, then you lose.
As far as on a rapping standpoint?
No, just what's his best song? Like where's his like what's he really look like solo catalog as an MC?
Oh, you talking
most of
about
his
as an
stellar
MC?
stuff is within.
Because I'm not counting like Crazy and stuff like
No,
that.
but what I'm saying is his all-time great verses and lyricism. Almost all of them are on Goody Mob and Outkast albums. It's like him as a solo MC. He really ain't like been the MC that Styles or Kiss is as a solo MC.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. That's an Andre 3000 type argument.
He's like, how about this? I think Andre and CeeLo in a vacuum are better than Kiss and Styles, but I'm not ranking either one of them higher.
Well, that's fine. I get that. And I don't want to be a hypocrite on my Andre stand.
I don't think Kiss or Styles can give me a decisions
exactly.
or a nigga experience. Right. Oh, no, I don't think that.
But they just have more.
They're
MCs. That's real. I'll give them that.
This is what I'm saying. It's 1998. It's Volume 2. CeeLo gets a call to go get on Reservoir Dogs. How he gonna do in that studio?
Well, he kind of did something.
Kiss and Styles are fine there.
Whoa. He kind of did something like that on the Diddy album. Remember that? When he's on the record with Sauce Money and all of these guys?
I mean, a great record, though.
It's a great record. No, that is a underrated posse cut. No,
looking at Us with Black Rob is better than that record if you want to talk about his Bad Boy collabs.
No. Hold on, let me pull up this record.
I know what you're talking about.
Wish we had the Patreon.
One on Forever, right? You're talking about the record on Forever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just okay.
No. That record's dope. No.
It's just good, Mike.
No.
It's just good.
People in the chat.
Just
Coop is tripping today. Hold on. Let's see.
Okay.
Forever.
The record just okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like song 16 on the Whack album.
No.
Because that Diddy album's terrible.
Is it the hardest? Oh, what record is that?
It's terrible. I'm talking about decisions again. A thought process.
No. This is where I want to go.
Don't bring up.
No, I want to make sure I got everybody right that's on the record. Yeah. Talking about Reverse, the record with Redman, Shine, CeeLo, Busta Rhymes, and Sauce Money.
Record ain't all that.
Oh, come on, man. But don't pull up a Reservoir Dogs example and act like CeeLo didn't get a call.
Reservoir Dogs is a classic rap record everybody knows. Nobody know that record you're talking about because Reverse ain't that good, Mike.
But
that's
again,
what I'm saying.
Let's not act like he didn't get a call to get on the record with Redman, Busta Rhymes, Sauce Money, and Shine.
No,
refutes everything you just said.
He's more than worthy of being on the call. I'm asking like how he do it. Where the record at?
But you was like, how would he take that call? Like he didn't get the call to be on with some credible MCs.
We're not gonna act like Redman on a classic rap posse cut because he ain't on one because Reverse ain't one. All the classic rap posse cuts.
All the people out there cuts. Go to your streaming platforms and listen to Reverse and tell me that record is not.
All the classic posse cuts CeeLo are on are Dungeon Family Records, and there's nothing wrong with that. Reverse is not no dope ass record like that, Mike. It's
Reverse
just good.
Is dope.
It's just
y'all
good.
gonna tell me Reverse ain't dope? How can you have a record with Redman, Busta Rhymes, Shine, and Sauce Money and it not be dope?
Shit happens.
Oh, come on, man. No, you're just trying to prove your point.
It happens.
It's a dope record. Good, I personally like the record better than Reservoir Dogs. I'm not a big Reservoir Dogs fan, but whatever.
It's very problematic how you're talking.
I'm just keeping it real. But yes, you talking about Tribe being at 4. Like I said, the people with the individual solo accolades, like you said, coming together after the fact. Yeah. Let me just go to your list. How about this? So Coop got Wu-Tang Clan at number 1. Got a Tribe Called Quest at 2, Outkast at 3, Mobb Deep at 4, De La at 5, Public Enemy at 6, NWA at 7.
Pause.
Mm-hmm.
The De La thing is the problem with his list if there is a problem, because I feel like De La's getting lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
De La, if we go on off catalog by the groups,
Yep.
just group work, well, they're your actual number one. If we're just going album group work, De La's number one.
I think
on
they
this
have
list.
the best catalog.
They have the best actual rap group catalog ever made.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. And
they have Stakes is High, Balloon
album
Mind
for
State.
album for album. Now, if you want to dock them
Breezy
for
High
not
Rise.
having, if you want to dock them for not having the songs that certain people have, fine. But album for album, there's not a group with a better catalog.
Artificial Intelligence.
Yeah, their consistency is crazy.
I'm about to say how about this? The only reason that they're number 5 is because, well, they don't have a Cream, an Award Tour, a Bombs Over Baghdad, a Shook Ones. Like, because those groups have those songs in multiples and they don't have that, but the album conversation, they win, and that makes them top 5 to me. And it's why I slid Public Enemy out of my top 5.
Well, somebody said De La's boring, right? And I think that one of the other things that De La may suffer from is not having a quote-unquote star.
Okay. I was thinking maybe a street cred thing, but okay.
No, I don't think Tribe has a problem with that. But again, Q-Tip has star power.
Big star power.
Even though I feel like Posdnuos, you know Q-Tip's my guy. Shout out to Q-Tip. My favorite hip-hop artist ever. Posdnuos is the better MC. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But he's not the star.
He's a better lyricist. I think that's a better way to put it.
I think
he's a better lyricist. Yeah, I don't know if he's a better overall artist than Q-Tip is end to end.
Yeah.
Because he's not the song maker, and then there's the beat side of it. But as far as MCing goes, like grabbing the mic, lyrically speaking, like, yeah. He's closer to Black Thought than Q-Tip is. How about that?
Oh, Badly with the super chat says, crazy disrespect for CeeLo. First 2 albums. He raps on almost every song at the high level. Y'all supposed to rep the A. He doesn't rap on every song. And I love Perfect Imperfections. I think he has some dope verses on there.
People have to remember your verses. It's not just about it being super lyrical and technical. People need to remember it. The songs need to be memorable. The verses need to be memorable. Let me tell you what's not super technical. I came in the door. I said it before. I never let the mic magnetize me. No, it's not super complicated. It don't have to be that. That's not what we all trying to do here. It's like you can be the supreme MC and still say shit that people want to say.
Ooh, Ohio K says, no Bone on your list, Coop? Yeah, that is a problem. Why is Bone not on your
problem? I told you, these lists are hard. It's hard when you're just riffing. That's why it's
do you want to go in after the fact and put Bone in there? Because this is what you got. You got Wu-Tang Clan at 1, A Tribe Called Quest at 2, Outkast at 3, Mobb Deep at 4, De La at 5, Public Enemy at 6, NWA at 7, Run DMC at 8, The Roots at 9, 3-6 at 10, EPMD at 11, UGK at 12, Clips at 13, The Locks at 14.
Stop. Here's where I would stop. I'll tell you this. I don't have Gangstar in. I would actually put Gangstar in at 11 and slide everybody down a notch. So if I could make a change right now, it would be to put Gangstar in at 11 and to slide everybody down 1.
All right, so that leaves UGK at 13, Clips at 14 then, and we got The Locks at 15, Goody Mob at 16, 8 Ball and MJG at 17, The Fugees at 18. That would mean Ghetto Boys at 19 and Farside at 20.
Now, here's what I'll tell you again. Well, I missed the Beastie Boys too. So where would you think the Beastie Boys? Because how about this? Is the Beastie Boys ahead of Bone? Because Paul's Boutique and License to Ill are better than Bone's 2 best albums, whether you like it or not. And you know that I'm right. We gotta be fair. If we're gonna be fair and talk about Bone, let's be fair. Paul's Boutique and License to Ill are better than Bone's 2 best pieces of work. Even if you think East Time 1999 is better than both of those albums, it's not winning. The next album, because the Art of War and Leroy ain't fucking with Paul's Boutique.
Leroy said Dog Pound greater than the Clips. This
You're
is
wrong.
how I feel about Bone. This is a funny thing because I'm really big on the Beastie Boys and their impact. And Bone, same thing. Like, both groups changed the game. And they both came in on some real unorthodox stuff, and you could see the after effects of both of these groups. Mm-hmm. My thing with the Beastie Boys is as dope as they are and as impactful as they are, and I feel like somebody said Mike don't want the Beastie Boys on the list. No, I love the Beastie Boys. I'm a fan. I listen to Car Thief and What You Want and
Yeah,
Sabotage
Mike
all
love
the
Paul's
time.
Boutique.
Yeah, I'm big on Paul's Boutique, and I'm big on the fact that NWA and Ice Cube, one of my favorite MCs, is clearly influenced by Beastie Boys. Beastie
Mm-hmm.
Boys' influence is epic in hip hop. I feel like this though. I feel like as an overall group, I think Beastie Boys are a better group than Run DMC. But I feel like from a rap standpoint and from a hip hop standpoint, I don't feel like Beastie Boys stayed in the genre the whole time. And that's what makes it very difficult for me to rank them because they started off as a rock group and then they, you know what I'm saying, found their place as a rap group for 2 albums and then kind of start evolving and turning to, you know, a rock rap group. I mean, they created a whole subgenre essentially with the whole rock rap thing, but I don't feel like they evolved into a rap group where other groups stayed rap groups. So if we were
Well,
talking
here's
about an overall group, if we were talking about an overall list of great all-time groups, I would have Beastie Boys ranked higher than Run DMC, but as a rap group, I wouldn't. Does that make sense?
no, that does, but Run DMC is at 8, and I'm having more of a 12 to 15 to. How about this? What I'm really trying to ask you is it Beastie Boys, like and Bone probably deserve to be on this top 20 list. My question is that A, who would they replace? Because here's immediately what my thought was. The Far Side has 2 great albums but don't have a classic. The Dog Pound has 1 classic. Ghetto Boys have 1 classic. Fugees have 1 classic. 8Ball and MJG have 1 classic. Goody Mob have 1 classic. The Locks don't have a classic. UGK has 1 classic. Clips have 2 classics. Everybody else that's before them kind of got a couple classics some kind of way up under their belt. Wu, Tribe,
How many
Cass,
classics
Mob.
do you think Bone has?
1. He's
Okay.
1999. That's what I'm saying. So now Beastie Boys have 2 though, and we know that they have 2. Doesn't that put them higher than a lot of these guys? Like as much as I love UGK outside of Riding Dirty, that's what I mean. It's like you want to talk about like the longevity and the rap sentiment. That's what I mean. It's like it's hard to put them ahead of these guys. Where do they fall? Because my immediate instinct is to take the Fugees out of this top 20 and put the Beastie Boys in.
Oh hell yeah! No, if you want to talk about who deserves to be on that list more, definitely the Beasties over the Fugees.
And I'm taking the Fugees
and I'm
out of my
a
top
huge
20.
Fugees fan. Huge Fugees fan. Listen,
Can I tell you what?
I'm gonna keep it real. Looking at your list, and I would
Can I
have some
finish right quick?
modifications, but looking at your list, I would probably have Beastie Boys around 9 or 10ish, based on this.
I can't have them that high because they didn't do enough and didn't stay around long enough to deserve
That's
that.
the only
pick.
thing, man. But see, I'm kind of collectively looking at their full catalog and not just their rap catalog. But if you look at their rap catalog,
this is a hip hop group list though, so we got to look at the rap catalog.
Yeah.
And the rap catalog is brief and impactful, and so I'm cool with taking the Fugees out at 18 and putting the Beastie Boys in right there because it's like, well, look at what Goody Mob means to us, and they do have soul food and still standing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And look at Get Shoot Off. Look at CeeLo Shoot Off. You feel what I'm saying?
The other part that makes it difficult for the Beastie Boys too is the lyricism side of it.
Here's what else I would tell you. You know I love Face. He might be my person. Like it's like Nas Pusha T Face. It's like, you know, I could just listen to that all day and I'm cool. But I think Bone's probably a better group than the Ghetto Boys.
Oh,
Mike.
They are.
And so I would put the Beastie Boys and Bone at 18 and 19 and take the Ghetto Boys and the Fugees out, and then I would just slide them down, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I would and so the Fugees would actually be my 20 now, with that being said.
Okay. Dumb It Down with the super chat says, still no Little Brother on the list. Y'all consistently overlook Fonte and Little Brother. They should be top 10 group easily. What say you?
How? I'm from North Carolina. I've met them. How? How?
Old Badley says Little Brother got better discography than your 15 to 20. Well, let's look at that.
Okay, well let's address it. Like, yeah, don't clown.
See, y'all got Little Brother over Goody Mob, because I disagree, and I disagree with Little
I
Brother.
vehemently disagree with that.
I disagree with Little Brother over 8 Ball MJG.
Yep.
I disagree with Little Brother. I guess the Fugees thing. The Fugees are out, right?
Fugees are at 20.
Okay.
Are we not? I could see some credence because the Fugees have.
Yeah.
Here's what the Fugees have. They have the one of one star in Lauren, but they only have one great album and they don't have a heavy work. So if you wanted to say,
if you want to say Little Brother's better than the Fugees, I personally like the Fugees' music more. But
me too.
If I want to be subjective,
if we're being fair,
if I'm gonna be objective here, excuse me. Yeah, I got to be fair. I could see Little Brother.
Put Little Brother at 20 instead of the Fugees. I'm with that.
Okay. Let's see the other people that we had. Ghetto Boys or no? You got Bone. I don't think Little Brother's better than Bone.
No, I put them behind Bone. They're not better than Bone. That's what I mean. It's like when people are talking Little Brother, it's like, let's just start at the top of the list. First of all, Wu-Tang, Tribe, Outkast, Mobb Deep, De La Soul, Public Enemy, NWA, Run DMC. First of all, that's way out of their league. Okay? Those 8 groups I just named, Little Brother's never ascending into that league. I'm from North Carolina, I'm telling you that. After that, it's the Roots. How do you feel about my Roots pick at number 9, Mike?
Listen, I had no problem with it. I mean, I think the Roots have a very extensive catalog. I think that the Roots consistency is heavy. Now, I'm not the biggest Roots listener, but their impact is felt. I mean, they out here on Jimmy Fallon every night, man, and Black.
Okay, how do you feel about my Clips pick at 13?
I understand it. Hold on real quick. Dumb It Down says Little Brother has 2 classics. First Foreign Exchange and Tay's first album is a classic.
No, it's not. I thought you were talking about the minstrel show and the listening.
Clips, I personally think as a group, Goody Mob's better.
How? No, I mean, I'm really asking.
I think that the albums are better. I think that the songs are more impactful outside of grinding or whatnot.
I don't agree. Oh, so when you say that, I think grinding and self therapy exist on the same level.
But I feel what you're saying, but no. I mean,
in terms of like the hip hop classic spectrum, they do. No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying in terms of like a hip hop classic level, it's like no, self therapy doesn't exceed grinding or vice versa in terms of that hip hop classic level.
Oh, what about Dirty South? And what about Soul Food itself? I mean, Dirty South's a whole subgenre just based off of the record that they put out.
What I was about to tell you is that as much as I love me some Hell Hath No Fury, Mike, if I'm picking between Goody Mob's best album and Clip's best album, I think Soul Food is the best album between the two. But here's the thing about it. Well, let's go to the next set of albums after that. It's like because the Clips made Lord William, Hell Hath No Fury, and Till the Casket Drops. It's like, no, Goody's 3 albums not that strong. They're getting blown out on those next 2 albums.
I think Still Standing is better than Lord William.
It's not.
I think it is. Easy.
I don't think so.
I
say that respectfully. I don't think.
Nah.
I say this respectfully.
What do y'all think in the chat?
No, I say this respectfully as somebody who really, really loves Still Standing and thought it was a classic and comparable to Soul Food when it came out. It has not aged well, Mike.
What do y'all say in the chat?
Still Standing has not aged well. A lot of that is the production. The concepts are there, but some of that production hasn't aged well.
Dumb It Down with the super chat says Little Brother's newest album is dope. Plus 2 great mixtapes. Okay.
Did nobody ask y'all all that? We already put them in.
But yeah, as far as Clips being there, I personally think that 8 Ball, MJG, and Goody Mob are probably have a better discography than
Okay.
Clips.
No. I'm asking questions because I want this list to be like as unbiased as possible. So what if I told you I was okay with moving the Clips down? See, when you say 8 Ball and MJG have a better catalog, what albums are you talking about, Mike?
I'm talking about In My Lifetime, Coming Out Hard.
What's Coming Out Hard better than from the Clips catalog? Is it you think Coming Out Hard is better than
You're asking the wrong person. I think it's better than everything they made, but that's just me.
Yeah, you think it's better than Riding Dirty too. You thought Coming Out Hard was better than Riding Dirty too.
Yeah, I do. coming out
It's
hard
not,
as a
but I mean,
motherfucking
shout out
beast,
to you for
man.
thinking that. You were wrong.
And it's
You were
crazy
wrong. You got
because
blown out. You got blown out when you put that up in the chat, didn't you?
I don't think we ever really
Oh, we need to put that up. Riding dirty or coming out hard.
We
I
need
thought
to
you put
do that
up.
in a
Oh, that need to
Patreon.
go
No,
up.
I would love to do that in a Patreon. Now that
What,
I
you
would
want to
love
do riding
to do.
dirty versus coming out hard?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's go.
No, I'm ready to do that.
Let's go. Let's go.
Coming out hard is a beast, man.
No, coming out hard is brilliant. It's not riding dirty. Riding dirty is arguably a top 5 Southern rap album to me. It's like in my lexicon, like it literally goes like Aquemini, The Diary, Soul Food, Southern Playalistic, Riding Dirty, like Southern classic rap album. Yeah, Riding Dirty is like that.
Man, coming out hard is 9mm Boys.
Ass off.
9mm Boys. First episode, Armed Robbery, Pimps, Coming Out Hard, Mr. Biggs, Niggas
Not
Like
afraid
Us.
of you.
Yo, this album is crazy.
Not afraid of you.
No.
Wait till you hear these Bun verses. Wait till Bun comes. It's not the same.
Nah.
I'm telling you, it's not the same.
And then I think the consistency though of 8Ball and MJG is, crazy. You got on the outside looking in, you got On Top of the World, you know what I'm saying? You got In My Lifetime, and not to mention the shit they did with Bad Boy, which was hitting too. I think that their catalog together is,
Okay, so what if I slide the clips out of 13 and end up putting them in the 17 spot right after 8Ball and MJG? Do you think that is a more fair analysis?
I think that's a more fair. I'm with that. I mean, because I think overall, clips are probably better than Ghetto Boys, and we're probably gonna get killed for saying that, but
they are. I mean, because part of why I have the clip so high is, well, how can you have the lock so high as MCs and what they do lyrically and not have the clip so high? Because Pusha T and Malice lyrically, you know what I'm saying?
As a group,
like, how about this? As MCs, Pusha T and Malice, well, they're better than Q-Tip and Fife collectively. They're better than Prodigy and Havoc collectively. They're better. I don't know.
See, I don't like getting into that because I like
MC matters, Mike. Bars matters.
No,
they're better than Run and DMC. They're better than Black Thought and Malik B collectively. DJ Paul, Juicy J, Crunchy Black, whoever you want to put in there, they're better than those
Lord
guys.
Infamous,
collectively,
Poopster,
they're better than EPMD as MCs, Mike. So it's like,
but I think the music matters, though. I think the music matters.
No, the music matters, but Mike, let's not act like they haven't made classic music.
They have, but I don't think to the level of these other groups you're naming. I don't think you wanna do a versus with Clips and Run DMC, and you don't want to do that. And granted, both of those guys. I feel you,
but Mike, like these other groups though, like I tell you what, you can think that you can beat Hell Hath No Fury with Coming Out Hard and Riding Dirty if you want to.
I think I could. I don't think you can. Do you want to do this? You want to do a Clips versus an 8Ball MJG? I'll take on 8Ball MJG. If you think Clips got it like that, I'll take on 8Ball MJG, and we're just using the actual group catalog, and you take on the Clips stuff.
You want to know what, Mike? I'm gonna slide the Clips down to 17 for now, but I'm gonna take that challenge.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna take that challenge.
Good.
Sure am.
I'm excited about it. I'm gonna mark that.
You're gonna take this L though.
You think so?
Oh yeah, because I do. I have Hell Hath No Fury. Because here's the thing. I got re-up gang shit. Like, yeah, you better take this L. That's clip shit.
Is re-up gang
Pussy? No. Pussy's a clip song, Mike. Pussy a clip song.
It is a clip song. You can use that. I don't know if you can use re-up gang stuff. So can I use 8Ball solo stuff then?
No, because then I get to use Pusha solo stuff.
I mean, I'm cool with that.
Hold on, but the re-up gang stuff is clip stuff. It's Clips presents the re-up gang. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. You're going to need those. And the re-up gang stuff is hard. Love it.
I'm only going to be picking a few re-up gang tracks, Mike. I can already think of the 2 to 3 that I'm picking. I'm only picking 2 to 3 re-up gang tracks. I already know 2 of them.
Who y'all think is going to win this? Oh, yeah. People are saying Clips going to get beat down by 8Ball and JG.
Okay.
8Ball and JG win or whatever. I'm looking forward to this one.
Oh, I can't wait. See, we can doing this little happy shit. No. That's a real one. Yeah, I can't wait.
Nah, I'm looking forward to this. Okay. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. As far as like your top, let's just say
hold on.
5.
Here's how the list looks right now. Right now, it's Wu-Tang, Tribe, Outkast, Mobb Deep, De La, Public Enemy, NWA, Run DMC, The Roots, 3-6, Gangstar, EPMD, UGK, The Lox, Goody Mob, 8 Ball and MJG, The Clips, The Beastie Boys, Bone, Little Brother.
Okay. I want to say this because somebody in the chat said something about Mobb Deep being better than Outkast. We did on our Patreon this past Monday.
I told you I'm gonna split them down.
We did ATLians versus Hell on Earth, and Hell on Earth smoked ATLians.
It just wiped ATLians,
and it was legit too. It wasn't like some biased shit.
It wasn't illegitimate or biased.
It was very legit.
It wasn't like 15 Leroy Greens like with a Rock Nation chain on.
No, it was legit. You know what I mean? Like there was maybe a few that I may have disagreed with, but for the most part, listening to those albums back to back, I mean, Hell on Earth is the better album. Saying all that to say, I just don't, and I've always said this, I don't think ATLians is as strong as a lot of people put it, because a lot of people put it as their number one Outkast album. It's not that, and I think that matchup proved it. But overall, I can't say Mobb Deep is a better group than Outkast, even though when we did do our little Outkast and Mobb Deep verses, it looked like Mobb Deep won that one too. I think Mobb Deep's music just hits you harder. But again, it's all about.
I think their high end is more special.
It's about connectivity as well, and we talk about this with Kendrick all the time. But I don't know, man. Do you think that there's some gaps in the way that either Outkast's music is aging or the connectivity, or do we look at Outkast more on a technical aspect as opposed to what we're feeling when the music hits? Because it was very evident when you were playing Hell on Earth and when I was playing ATLians what the better album was.
If we're just going to be fair, the thing that I struggled with the most making this list was putting Outkast above Mobb Deep. And the only real viable argument I could give myself is that, Stank On Ya, which is Outkast's fourth best project, is just so far superior to Mobb Deep's fourth best project, which is Infamy. And that's the only thing that I could really give you, because the thing about it is that if you're really parsing it out, it's like, well, I don't know. Well,
I feel like better than Southern Playalistic?
Huh?
The Infamous better than Southern Playalistic? And I know
I've always thought the Infamous was better than Southern Playalistic, as much as I personally was biased to Southern Playalistic, so it was never about that to me. Here's what I was about to submit to you. It's always been about the fact, I know the Infamous is better than Southern Playalistic. How close are Clem and I in the Infamous? Because if the Infamous, I think maybe we should do an Infamous and a Clem and I when we did the Hell on Earth ATLians thing, because it made me think, it's like, is the Infamous better than a Clem and I? Because if it is, then Mobb Deep is clearly the better group and actually going to slide Cast down a couple notches. Because here's the thing, it's like, well, we just found out that Hell on Earth is better than ATLians.
Substantially better.
Substantially better.
I think that Aquemini is better than the Infamous, but
me too. But I think it's a conversation based on what we just had, because we thought that ATLians and Hell on Earth was a conversation, and just truthfully, Mike, a little bit of our Atlanta bias got exposed during that Patreon with the Hell on Earth, because the music was just clearly superior.
The rapping was superior too.
Outside of Two Dope Boys and Elevators and Over the Woods and Babylon, I didn't even hear any records that I thought were Hell on Earth worthy like that. And most people think the Infamous, in modern opinion and mass opinion, the Infamous considered to be slightly better than Hell on Earth. And so it just made me think, it's like, well, damn. So Hell on Earth is definitely beating ATLians. That means it's giving Southern Playalistic some real run. That means the Infamous is probably giving the Aquemini some real run. It's like, man, we got to use Stank On Ya for Outkast to stand over Mobb Deep. It's like, I don't like that at all, because we don't feel Stank On Ya like that.
And, the interesting part, too, was right before we started the matchup, we were like, who's better in 96, Prodigy or 3000? Like it was a discussion, and we thought it was.
Prodigy.
But listening to both of those albums back to back, it's Prodigy.
Did you hear that verse run he went on from Nighttime Vultures to the end of the album? It's literally some of the best rapping that you'll find, period, fuck a year.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So if somebody were to wake up today and tell me, it's like, yo, Coop, you wrong, Mobb Deep better than Outkast, it's like, I can't. I've been fighting this battle my whole life, but it's like, I can't tell them no.
Yeah. I think the thing that I've always leaned on was the content and creativity and subject matter. That's why I had Cast over, Mob.
Yes.
And I've always felt like as individual MCs that, bar for bar, Big Boy and Dre are better rappers than collectively than Prodigy
Yes.
and Havoc. So that's
Well,
why I've
that's
always
true.
leaned on. But if we lean on the music, I don't know.
But can I tell you what? That's considered to be prime Andre. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't even
That's
close.
hold on. That's prime Prodigy. So I don't want to hear that Andre is the best MC in the game. He's not even better than Prodigy. Prodigy isn't better than Nas in '96. There are levels.
Or
to
Jay.
this. Or Jay.
Yeah.
Oh,
bad.
I mean, hold on. How about this, Mike? Do you think Jay's rapping better than Prodigy on Reasonable Doubt?
Yeah. I think
by how much?
Not by a whole lot. But
it's conversation.
It's conversational. But, when you look at the
Andre's
Eagles
not in that conversation as much as we love Atlanta and love Atlanta rap. He's not in that Jay Nas Prodigy 96 conversation.
Because you look at the Eagles.
Because Prodigy is probably your third place MC that year after Nas and Jay. And think about this. And then you go to Black Thought's performance on Illadelph Half-Life, Mike. And then Redman's performance on Muddy Waters. It's like this Andre didn't even have a top 5 rap
that's the conversation. The Muddy Waters and Prodigy is the Redman on Muddy Waters and Prodigy is the real conversation.
I think Prodigy got Redman on that.
I don't know, man.
I love some Funk Dr. Spot and Muddy Waters, but
Redman was rapping stupid.
I mean, if I'm going rapping in '96 bar work, it literally goes Nas, Jay, Prodigy. For me, Nas, Jay, Prodigy, Black Thought, Redman. Then Andre.
Well, it's funny. You said all those.
Maybe Black Thought and Andre.
You said all those
Black
things.
Thought and Andre's coming out party was kind of their respective group albums coming out party, so I would put them tied at 5th. And that's not without bringing up Lauren.
I was just about to say, you spoke so highly. You spoke so highly of Lauren a couple weeks back, and now the most active year she had rapping, she not even top 5.
Well, actually, hold on. If you really want to hear it, how about this? The real battle, if you really want to know, is actually Lauren versus Prodigy. Lauren's bar work on The Score versus Prodigy's bar work on Hell on Earth is the conversation.
I don't think we want to do that.
Who do you think that is?
That's Prodigy, man. What I heard with my own ears, that was Prodigy. I think Lauren's more in an Andre ATLingens realm. Whereas I think the conversation. I think the conversation is Redman and Prodigy, really.
I think Lauren's better than Redman in '96.
No, I don't. I disagree with that. I mean, I feel you, but I disagree. Okay. Muddy Waters, Redman's crazy. Old Badly with the super chat says, no Pete Rock and CL Smooth. They got a great discography. They have a perfect discography, actually. It's just not long enough, to be real. And you know how I feel about CL
I don't love their discography the way that other hip-hop heads do. I like it. I don't love it.
I love the Main Ingredient. I think that Mecca and the Soul Brother is dope, but I think Main Ingredient, to me, is their best body of work.
I would agree with that on an overall production standpoint, too.
Yeah. Miss LB with the super chat says, y'all think 3-6 placed that much higher than Bone? Based on what? I would base it on impact. I would base it on
production.
I mean, you can really see the remnants of 3-6 Mafia's music in the past 10 years, to be real. I mean, without the music that they made, a lot of the stuff that we hear now wouldn't even exist.
3-6 crazy with it.
We got to get to these awards too, because I know we're almost 3 hours in and we hadn't even gotten to these awards. Ready to get to these awards, man? I mean, we could go on and on about this list, but
we're gonna have to. So just to round it out and to finish up, Little Brothers the 20, and so that would make Fuji's 21, Ghetto Boys 22, Farside 23. Dog Pound 24, and Mike, just for you, I got the Migos right there at 25. That's just for you, Mike. Migos at 25.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I appreciate that. Rest in peace to Takeoff.
Definitely. God bless.
All right. These are the awards we got to fill in, man. MC/Artist of the Year. Who we got? Nas?
Nas.
All right. Lyricist of the Year.
I think this is a Black Thought Nas conversation. Maybe Ransom. What say you?
I'm going to be real, man. And I think that Black Thought is going to take a lot of our awards this year, rightfully so, because he's had a great year that is kind of being overshadowed by a lot of other things. But yeah, if we want to talk about lyricist of the year, we look at Aquamarine. We look at him on Frequency, on No Fear of Time, and just, I mean, the heavyweights that he has on his album and how he was able to shine above them. I'm inclined to give him lyricist of the year and Nas MC/artist of the year.
I think Nas is clearly the artist of the year. I think the lyricist conversation is between him and Black Thought. If you want to give that to
I think Lupe's in there too with Ransom, as you said, but I'm going.
They are in the conversation, but this is a Black Thought Nas conversation about the lyricist of the year. I will tell you the separation is Aquamarine and No Gold Teeth is where I will give that to you. Mm-hmm. Like literally those two records. Forget Thought stunting on everybody else. I ain't worried about him stunting on everybody else.
I mean, I just mentioned that because he, did that and his individual
I've
stuff.
always been worried about if he could stunt for himself like that. So the fact that he made Aquamarine and No Gold Teeth this year, listen, which are great hip hop records that don't compromise any of his lyrical dexterity. So I'm okay with him being the lyricist of the year just because he proved, he can make a great hip hop single without compromising any of that Black Thought super ultra magnetic rap shit that he does,
Gotcha. No, I agree 100%.
No Gold Teeth and Aquamarine is proof that he can do it. That's what I mean. We have so much evidence that Nas can do that. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
As great of an MC and a lyricist that Black Thought is, I still think he's elevating and he's showing elevation in his skill set. When you don't think a guy like that can get even better. When you were reading off his verse from Frequency, I was like, this guy's crazy.
Hold on, Mike. I used to rap. I was sitting up here reading the words. I was like, hold on. When do I struggle to rap? When I got to rap Black Thought shit. Even out of practice, out of breath, out of time. I know who I am. It was like, no, I was struggling to rap the shit. I'm like, oh yeah, this motherfucker, great. Even reading his shit is a process and a problem unto itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's like that. Now, here's what I would tell you. And this is what I mean. And so people need to understand the difference between the artist of the year and the lyricist of the year. Nas is the artist of the year is because he can make beef and fun and legit and reminisce and Once a Man, Twice a Child all in one fell swoop on the same album. Mike, he can make it all in one fell swoop on the same album without help. Thought hasn't proven that yet as a solo MC. Nas has that in the bag 10, 15 times over. This is just further evidence. But the lyricist, combined with the songmaker, starting to come out with Aquamarine and No Gold Teeth. And so the next level for him is being able to do the beef. He's got identical deaths, but that next level, as a writer, artist, the full is being able to run the gamut the way Nas did on KD3, and that is the separation. But shout out to Thought. Because quite frankly, he's been our walking standard for bars for a long time, and he never wins lyricist of the year from any of these major publications.
It's insane.
They ride his dick for the great lyricist that he is.
Yeah.
They ride his dick and they never hand him an award.
They use him for content. They'll have you know what I'm saying, his freestyles, and shout out to Flex. And that's not a knock at Flex, it's just being real, right? They'll use his Harvard, performance and all of that stuff. And it's like you said, he never gets awarded this when we all know, by most standards, he's the best rapper out here.
As far as just the bar work goes, I told you, he's the walking standard for bars. Nas is the greatest MC of all time, but the walking standard for bars and lyricism is Black Thought. And Aquamarine and No Gold Teeth, he gave you evidence this year of it on the solo tip. I bring up those records because it's not no guest appearances on there. No, that's Thought rocking like that.
That's real. Miss LB with the super chat.
Appearance.
Miss LB with the super chat says the same thing you can say for Bone. Their impact is everywhere also. It is as far as the approach of what they did on the mic, but not from a production standpoint, not from a sonic standpoint, and even with the flow that we talk about. And I even said this when Busy was coming at Migos. I've always felt like Takeoff, because I think he's the one that kind of brought that flow to his camp.
Hold on,
I think that Takeoff took a lot of that from Crime Mob, right? From Lil J from Crime Mob. he was rapping with that infamous flow. And I think Crime Mob was a direct duplicate of what 3-6 was. I don't think that flow came from Bone. I think that Bone's flow was a little bit something different. You know, I think that if you want to say what Beyonce did on Bills or what, you know,
Hey, Mike.
and Bugaboo and what Mariah was doing, that's fine. Like, that's Bone influence. What are you going to say, Cool?
We got some people in the chat that feel like Ransom is the lyricist of the year.
Overthought. I think
I'm
that
sorry.
just comes down to
this is what I'm going to tell people again. This is what I mean. No, like great lyricism is remembered when you put it together in a song format that people remember. That's why Rakim is great. That's why Nas is great. That's why Black Thought's getting this. Give me the Ransom song that's comparable to Aquamarine and No Gold Teeth on a solo mission lyrically that you can recite like that bangs like that, and I'll hand it to him right now. Give me the records.
I mean, listen.
No, I love Ransom. Ransom's everywhere. He did a lot of great work.
Yeah.
Name the verse that y'all walking around reciting, because I be walking around singing No Gold Teeth and Aquamarine. You feel me?
Well, to our credit, Coop, when Ransom dropped, we said he's lyricist of the year so far. We did say that until Black Thought came along with his album.
I'm sorry, Black Thought songs are just better. Like Cheat Codes is better than anything Ransom did this year. It's not a disrespect to Ransom.
I mean, it's Black Thought. I don't think Ransom would even think that's disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean, how about
for this even to be a conversation is an honor. You know what I mean?
I'm about to say, Ransom's in a conversation with Lupe, Nas, and Black Thought right now. You don't think that's a come up?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And he did great work this year, and he deserves to be in that conversation.
Burning Bridges, a dreadful symphony. Hell no, Air Pegasus. That's why that's exactly why it's Black Thought right there. The records you just named. Them records is not Aquamarine and No Gold Teeth. You have to put it together, guys. Part of the reason why Rakim is revered. Like, I'm pretty certain there are other guys that were lyrically just as inclined as Rakim, but they couldn't make Follow the Leader, and I ain't no joke. And Microphone Fiend.
Let me get to the super chat.
Know the ledge. Let the rhythm hit them. They couldn't make those records. They're songs.
Let me get to the super chat. Let me get to the people that's actually putting their money to their comments real quick. Ohio K says, put a poll up to check the chat's temperature on these awards. Okay, we can definitely do that. Because I would love to see what people think in regards to the Black Thought and the Ransom when it comes to a poll. I'll put that up in 1 second. I think there's another super chat that was from Mad Max that we had coming through. Damn, hope I ain't missing. All right, there we go, Mad Max. Man, this thing is acting buggy as hell right now. Okay, well, the next one, album of the year, KD3.
Yeah.
Okay, there's Mad Max. He said Ransom lyricist of the year. He rapped on more projects at the same high level as Thought. Okay, we'll put a poll up. KD3, album of the year. Anybody have any objections to that, you guys think?
Yeah, I'm about to say, we have some lyricists of the year objections. And think about this. We supposed to be a Nas channel. They going ham for Ransom in here right now.
I love it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with it.
Shout out to Ransom.
Okay.
Because I know Ransom be showing love too.
No, we can hold off on it and let the people decide if that's how they feel. Put the vote up, Mike, and let people decide the lyricists of the year.
Yeah, we'll definitely
Nas,
do that.
Ransom, Lupe, Thought, right?
We'll definitely do that. Let me get the poll. I guess I need to go ahead and put the poll in the chat itself, right? They
put
only
it up now while
me,
we're still up, and then you can,
They only allow me to do one
up.
poll in the live, you know what I'm saying? So maybe we can kind of do just that one. Come up artist of the year. Did we agree on Lotto? I know some people said Rome Streets. Who do you think is the come up artist of the year? Okay. I think it's Lotto too.
It's Lotto. She really did come up this year, like come all the way up.
Yeah, I mean she's a star now. It was a big year for her.
Yeah, she's a star.
It's
a thing.
Album of the year is KD3. Song of the year, Aquamarine.
Band down on the scene like it's Saladin.
People said put a poll up on YouTube and Twitter.
Aquamarine. You mask how you really feel like it's Halloween when they ask how you really feel about my machine. You see how I can just quote that off the top of my head?
What do y'all think? What do you think about the fact that people are saying Shay Noir or Rome Streets for that come up artist of the year?
Lotto became a star this year. Like, y'all are talking on some rap shit, and I get it. but it's like she literally went from being like somebody that was on the come up to working with all the major names that she grew up looking up to and adoring, in addition to going on tour. When it, like no, like a come up is not just a rap like bar work come up. It's an actual come up where you go from being somebody who is bubbling and might become a star to actually becoming a viable star. She became a viable star this year, Mike.
I agree with you.
Not taking that away from her just because they're better spitters. Y'all talking about who rap better. I'm not talking about who became a star this year and came all the way up.
All right, I'm putting this in there now, man.
I be arguing about Che Noir, and y'all be knocking Che down in here, and now y'all trying to pull up and talking about she the one that came up. Y'all been knocking this shit down every time I put her up high. Y'all wow.
You know what? Let me add another option. You said, who's the other option? Black Thought, Ransom, and Lupe, right?
Nas.
I think Nas is going to throw the poll off, but whatever.
If you want to leave him out, that's fine. That's just not fair.
That's going to leave. I mean, Nas is getting his, man.
That's fine.
I see people saying Glorilla. That's awesome. We got 36 Chambers.
We talked about Glow. We talked about Glow being maybe the come-up artist of the year.
All right, so I got the poll in there. And
you really kept Nas off the poll?
Yeah, he's going to throw off the balance, man. 36 Chambers of the Super Chat.
Hold on. If he's going to throw off the balance, that kind of makes him the lyricist of the year.
He's Nas, man. You know what I mean? Like, people see Nas's name, they're just going to vote for him.
So that leads us to the point that we can't put the man name in the lyricist of the year conversation. It's like, well, if it's a lyricist of the year conversation, put Nas in.
When Nas is involved, people are not going to be objective here.
Okay.
36 Chambers of the Super Chat says, Thought is absolutely lyricist of the year, and it's not close. Lupe and JID had better bars, in my opinion, than Ransom. If you really dissect the lines, Thought was different this year. Cheat Codes was special.
Black Thought's winning this right now 62% to 30% to 9% anyway, so.
Okay. Somebody said, Mike, why you ain't putting Nas in there? See? Y'all were waiting to throw off the balance. This is like Kanye running for president.
Terrible. Get to the next award, please, sir.
The next award, we got Song of the Year, Aquamarine. Okay, this is what I put out there. I put out Sample of the Year and Beat of the Year. Should those be two different things?
Yeah, because just because you got to get best sample don't mean you have the best beat.
I think Sample of the Year is legit with DJ Khaled's Party as honorable mention, but I think legit Sample of the Year.
It is. What's the beat of the year?
What is the beat of the year? I would like to ask the people. What do you think off top? What's the best produced hip-hop song of 2022? In your opinion? Is it something on West Side's project?
Peppers came to mind.
Super Kick Party came to mind for me, but...
I was actually about to say, what's the joint? PYS came to mind.
Ooh, that's a good one.
PYS came to mind. Mike and Quincy came to mind.
Mike and Quincy's a good one too. That beat's crazy. What do y'all think?
Those were the ones that I thought of beat-wise immediately. I thought of PYS. I thought of Mike and Quincy.
Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, "Damn it, I was the one that tweeted and tagged A2HH in the Mag Hopper best group list. I was putting my daughter to sleep. When I tapped back in, I caught only the tail end of the segment. We'll repost the segment for you, man. Appreciate the tag too, Jermaine. We had a huge discussion about it. A lot of it turned into OKC talk, but you know."
Yeah, Peppers, Mike and Quincy, and PYS were rang off in my head. Like in my head, I heard those beats. I was like, ooh. Like Mike, legit is my favorite rap song this year.
Is it?
Like Nas is legit. Yeah, legit's my favorite rap song this year.
I see people saying Thun. I see people saying Mike and Quincy. I see people.
Thun's pretty tough too. The beat Thun is tough, man. Hit Boy's producer of the year. That's what it is.
He is. Well, that's the next one.
I think Mike and Quincy probably is this one.
I see somebody saying Push and P for beat.
Nah, but it's a dope beat.
Peppers.
Yeah, Peppers told you. Diet Coke's beats pretty hard, Mike.
I'm okay with the Diet Coke pick.
Yeah. I like Peppers more than Diet Coke.
I think Diet Coke might be the pick, Coop, because Diet Coke is that beat that when it came out.
No, just because everybody want to rap to it, don't make it the best beat, Mike.
Okay. I think that's important, though.
It's important, what about BDP? Hold on. It's important, but does that supersede a better beat? Like, is what Hit Boy did on Mike and Quincy better?
A lot of people are saying Mike and Quincy.
Is better? Like, because here's the thing: is like if I'm picking beats, that's actually the last big beat I'm picking of like the top notch beats that we're choosing from.
What do you think about BDP?
Ooh. No.
I see
Super Kick Party's up there more than BDP is.
I see PSY and Peppers up there. Peppers is getting a lot of love.
Peppers is for real, man.
Peppers is getting a lot of love. PYS is too.
Put it up in the chat, Mike.
It's Mike and Quincy. Man.
Mike and Quincy, PYS, Peppers, and
let's see.
Mike and Quincy, PYS, Peppers. What was the last one we just named?
They only let me do one poll at a time, so I might have to end the other poll. It looks like Thoughts
winning that. Thoughts up 65% right now.
All right, so let me end that and let me start another poll. They'll let me start another poll. So best beat. This should be a lot more competitive. Best beat.
Peppers. Mike and Quincy. PYS.
All right, hold on.
Diet Coke. I'm with fam. Who just said that? Yawning said, "Let the smoker shine the coupe." See, that's the thing. I like "Let the smoker shine the coupe" beat better than I like the Diet Coke beat. But I'm gonna let y'all have y'all little Diet Coke.
So, all right, we got Peppers, Mike and Quincy, right?
PYS, Diet Coke.
Those are the choices?
Yeah, I think so.
Diet Coke. All
right. Ordered Diet Coke.
Let's see. Let's see what the people say, because I think that's a hard category. It's a tough category.
I do. And we can go to the next one while people are tallying up in the chat.
I predict that people are gonna pick Mike and Quincy.
I say Peppers is gonna win.
I hope Peppers win because I think that's where I would actually vote.
Peppers is the one that energizes. Peppers is the beat that puts the battery in your back when you hear it on some rap shit. You hear the beat drop, you're like, oh, what?
Shit crazy.
Like what?
Stop what you're doing.
Oh, that's that rap shit. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's that rap shit.
And then you hear most Def Yasin Bey on it. It's like, oh shit.
Talib just went.
He did.
There.
DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says Joey Badass with the Stephanie Mills sample.
Okay. Yeah, that's not better than that 5 Heartbeat sample. I'm sorry.
36 Chambers says Michael and Quincy beat of the year for those switches. One element falls off and one new element adds on each. It's like 4 beat switches this happened. Okay.
And Mike and Quincy is up pretty heavy right now too.
It's probably gonna win. All right. So the next category,
people are tallying up.
Producer of the year. I think that's Hit Boy. Hit Boy Producer of the Year. All right.
Ooh, Talib should have been in our lyricist conversation. We had him in there.
He should have been. Definitely. Yeah. Live Performer of the Year. I got Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. He's a great live performer. Always has been.
Yep. He's getting better too. 36 Chambers with the super chat says Peppers' beat sounds unfinished to me. Okay.
I mean, it ain't great. The Bridge is Over wasn't finished. Right. Yeah. The Bridge is Over was chopped up. It wasn't finished. Shit's epic.
Music video of the year. I think The Heart Part 5.
The Heart? Yeah, that's fine.
Let's see. Heart Part 5. Jay Short with the super chat says, my favorite beat this year is Zipper Bags.
Oh yeah, the Freddie. I love Zipper Bags.
Freddie got some production on that album, man.
His album, like until Hit Boy did what he did on KD3, that was the best produced rap album this year.
It was the album of the year up until that point, I think.
So that too. Yes, it was.
Group/duo of the year. Does that go to Black Star? I think so. Or does that
Agreed.
go to Earth Gang? I think
No. It's Black Star.
It's Black Star.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's the fun part.
This is gonna be fun. I know we're gonna have to put a poll up for this.
Collaboration album of the year.
So we have the Dreamville. We got the Metro. We got the Long Live DJ Shay. We got the West Side. The Mount Westmore.
Mount Westmore.
And we got the Dizza Crit and Wiz.
I'm leaning towards that, man. I'm leaning towards the Dizza, Crit, and Wiz, man.
I'm actually leaning towards the Dreamville, Mike.
Are you?
I went back and listened to that Dreamville album. That shit hard, Mike. That shit dope. I like the Shay a lot, too. Any one of these albums?
Ho. And we got Drake and 21. Yeah.
Okay. The Dreamville album.
I mean, you know, we got Drake and 21 ranked, you know, kind of high. I like Full Court Press, though. I mean.
No. The Drake and 21 is actually a really solid project, Mike. It really is. Her Loss is a solid project. That Dreamville album for me, Mike, is, I don't know.
What do we need to put up in the chat?
I just like it when mixtapes have a Who Shot Your beat on it. I'm sorry, it just does something to me. It's like you do your job. Even the R&B joints, Mike. Even the Ari joint on there is like really the couple Ari joints in there even super maxed out. It's like
if we got to put
rap and they had me paying attention.
All right, so the 4 that we're putting in there, right? We're gonna put in Metro. We're gonna put in Full Court Press.
Yep.
We're gonna put in Dreamville.
Yep, the D-Day and the Long Live DJ Shay.
And what about Her Loss?
I guess. The Shay is better than Her Loss, though. It just is. It's just the truth.
Huh.
It's a better project.
Think so?
No, it's
looks
just
like Mike and Quincy won this.
It is what it is. It's not even like a bias about what I like to hear. It's just there's more dope songs on the Shay project than there are on the Her Loss project. The Her Loss project probably wins for the production side of things, but them songs on the Shay, no, they was hard. They came through for him. Like Benny Stoke, no, they came through.
You want to see the results of this real quick?
Which one?
Beat Michael and Quincy, 85 votes. And it was 61% Michael and Quincy, Diet Coke 21%, Pepper 17%, PYS 0. This is fun. We should do this more often. Okay.
No, that's cool.
So this is what we got here. About to put up another poll. So best collaborative album. Album. Let's see. We got. Yeah, we should do this more often. This is fun. All right, so we got Metro. Yeah. I mean, you know, I know his albums like, you know, Heroes and this and that, but I'm just going to put Metro album. We got Full Court Press.
You just put Heroes up there too, you know.
Yeah. Press. We asking the people here, you know what I'm saying? Her Loss. And Dreamville. All right, I'm interested to see what this is going to be. Okay. 36 says Metro is the best collaboration album. Okay, well, we about to see.
It's possible.
We are about to see. I think all of these are really good collaboration albums. I think that for me, though, I just enjoyed the Full Court Press, and I love the fact that these guys who I didn't even know were going to make a collaboration album or even collaborated were able to make such an enjoyable album with so many different types of styles they have. Let's see. I want to get caught up on this super chats though before we go to the next category. Okay, I think we're good. I don't think I'm missing anything. All right, so we're gonna get back to that one, the collaboration album, verse of the year.
Thought Aquamarine, verse 1.
Verse 1, Aquamarine. Any objections, guys? That's a pretty good one.
Talib's verse on Peppers. Nas on verse 2, Mike and Quincy. Ransom had some contenders. Lupe had some contenders.
Yep.
Benny on Blow for Blow, you know.
OG album of the year.
I think we're giving that to KRS, ain't we?
Yeah. Should that be a category?
I like that category. The only question is it when is it like OG status?
Yeah, when does it constant? That's why I even asked that, because I'm like, well, KD3 could be considered OG album of the year, right?
Right. But we ain't gonna do that to KRS or like G-Rap or those guys. Like them is the real OGs now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there are forefathers now. Like those dudes like Bombada and like all those guys. I mean, not Bombada,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, though. Like all those guys are like super old now. Like they're not, you know what I mean?
Respectfully.
Yeah, no, respectfully, like Social Security, like retired status with it. So like when KRS and G-Rap are like our OGs now, they're like.
And when they go in the studio and put in work, they gotta get that.
Yeah, they're like they're in their 50s in the studio putting in work and doing albums and stuff. So it's like that's OG for real.
Freestyle of the year, I got.
Hold on. The Prophetic brought up something. Mount Westmore for the OGs. That would be considered an OG album, Mike.
I think I'm gonna have to link. I'm with you.
Because think about it, Snoop's the youngest artist, the newest artist on there, and he came out in 90, 91 on Deep Cover.
I'm with you, Mount Westmore.
It's Mount Westmore. Shout out to who put that up and said that.
No, I'm with that. Shout out.
No, because they're right. Mount Westmore would be OG.
Yeah, Mount Westmore's OG album.
The Prophetic said that. Shout out to the Prophetic. You're right. Mount Westmore would be the OG album. But KRS and Kool G-Rap did make quality projects this year, but I do feel like that Mount Westmore album is better. But look, there's 4 members of G-Rap and KRS like on the Dolo mission. You know what I mean? So it probably should be better.
Freestyle of the year, I got Sci-Hi on LA Lakers.
Facts.
Facts or Mickey Facts? No, I'm just kidding.
Somebody copied me on one of something Mickey Facts was actually talking about from the perspective of lyricism about the God Did verse on my Twitter page. Shout out to Mickey. It was an excellent breakdown. He was explaining how some of the entendres and writing style Jay is implementing most people are not catching. And I totally understand that, and that's totally, and that's totally clear. I just want to be clear that I caught it, and it's still not verse of the year.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of.
No, I caught everything that he did and was going on. It's
I think there's a lot of that.
Like, oh no, the writing is beautiful.
It's Jay. I mean, I think there's a lot of things.
It's not gonna be dope. It's Jay. It's not like I said. The verse was whack.
He's not gonna go out there and spit some garbage. He's Jay. He's great.
The verse is good. It's a good verse.
Yeah. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, we need a poll for the verse. Chat saying Johnny P with Cole. Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
Well,
Aquamarine,
I guess that kind of goes to...
Hold on, let's get the best collab album out the way.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's close. The Dreamville's winning, Mike.
Is it?
Yeah, Dreamville's up.
Okay. I love it.
33%, the full court press is 27%. It's close.
It's close. We'll let this one rock for a few more minutes.
Right.
I'll say comeback artist of the year. Is that a category to give this year? Does that go to Black Star again, or I hear some people saying
Jeezy for a couple decades, so probably.
Who do y'all think is comeback artist of the year? I mean, does Jeezy fit in that?
Yeah, because Ransom came back last year, I felt like, so that wouldn't be Ransom.
Yeah. We can skip that for now, if we even need it. But it sounds like that's a Black Star win again.
I mean, they work on and did come back and make a dope album.
I mean, and people have been waiting on them to come back forever. Somebody said Baby, Lloyd Banks. I feel like Lloyd Banks came with an album.
Lloyd Banks came back last year, though. Yeah. So he back. He was back last year.
I don't know what the Baby came back from.
He never left. It's just the media. Very problematic.
Featured appearance of the year. I think that's Johnny P's Caddy.
That's Johnny P's Caddy. But we can put the bars of the year up, too.
Okay. Because it's about the people, you know. Collaboration song of the year. Is that Johnny P's Caddy again?
I think Blow for Blow might actually take that, or Peppa should take that.
I like those choices.
Because technically, West Side Gun Get with Black Star is a collaboration.
It is. And I think Peppers deserves something.
I think Peppers deserves something too.
And I truly believe that Blow for Blow deserves something too. But I think that Peppers, I mean, the gravity of that collaboration. Look at this, man. Black Star winning 3 awards, and according to hip hop, look at that.
Well, we're fair and unbiased. Like we've been saying that we are. I don't have to like you to give you your due. That's how it's really supposed to work.
All the shit that we talked this year about, how their album was released and this and that, and Black Star gets 3 according to hip hop awards.
They're getting about as many awards as Nas and Black Thought are.
Looks like it.
But we're fair. We actually speak objectively, even if people get on our motherfucking nerves.
All right, let's see. Mike and Quincy, their collaboration song. We got Peppers, and it looks like Dreamville won that collaboration album of the year.
Hey, can I tell you something, Mike? I like the Full Court Press a lot, but it's not better than the Dreamville. It's just more fun than the Dreamville.
Yeah, I'm with that. I mean,
it's fun to listen to though, because I'm with you on the Full Court Press. Because you put it in, it's like that was a quick, fun listen. It's like, why can't more rap albums be like this?
Right.
Right.
Let's see. With 70 votes, Dreamville got 38%, Full Court Press 22%, Her Loss 21%, and Metro 17%. It's pretty close. I like it. What about Slept On Album of the Year? That's something I didn't have in the original notes, but I think is necessary.
I think maybe the Your Old Droog album got slept on pretty heavily. And I found that album to be highly impressive.
Okay. I know some people will probably say Rome Streets might need to be in that conversation. Okay. I think the Liz 2 might need to be in that conversation. I want to put up a poll with this one.
I thought about that. This is poll worthy. The Liz 2, the Kiss the Ring.
Okay.
Yep, Liz 2, Kiss the Ring.
Slept On album.
Core Mega's album.
Think so?
It was pretty slept on, wouldn't you say? You think it got pub? Like outside of the Nas feature, did it get pub?
I don't think it did, but do you think that there's something?
Oh, you mean quality-wise, is it up there?
Yeah. Do you think it's something that might be a little bit more deserving? Maybe Saba? I'm seeing the Liz. I'm seeing Ransom. I'm seeing Core Mega.
I'm seeing Continuance. I'm seeing that Boldy and Craven. I'm seeing Food for Thought. I'm with Food for Thought if people still feel like Food for Thought is being slept on.
Okay. Food for Thought. I'll put that in there because I think that's one that's really Continuance. How about this?
Was Continuance slept on?
I think so. I think that it came out so early that things just kept jumping over it. Let's see. I'm thinking Food for Thought, Continuance, Kiss the Ring, and the Liz 2.
Which ones? Continuance, Liz 2, Kiss the Ring, what else? Food for Thought, check.
What do you think?
I'm cool. What do you think about putting the Czarface in there?
I'm cool with that. I only get 4 slots. You think I should take Continuance out, or?
I feel like Continuance made our top 20 list, so I don't know how it can be slept on by us.
Well, so did Food for Thought. So maybe we need to put
stuff that didn't make our top 20 isn't necessarily slept on by us because we're acknowledging it by saying that it made our top 20 list.
I got you. So maybe
if you're making our top 20 list, that's us saying we're not sleeping on you, we're watching you. So the Rome can't be in there. The Liz 2 is not in there, so that she would be viable.
Yeah.
The Czarface would be viable.
What about Method Man?
The Method Man would be viable. That's where I was going.
Czarface. Let's see. I feel like we're missing something still.
Let me go to my album list right quick.
All right. So I'm going to take Continuance out.
Denzel Curry, Melt My Eyes.
Yeah. All right. Let's put Denzel in there because a lot of people got all kind of smoke for us because it's not in there.
Yep. The Denzel Curry.
All right.
The Czarface, the Method Man, the Liz 2.
All right. And
Did Joey make our? Excuse me. Did Joey make our top 20 list?
no. Is Joey slept on, or was it
Nope.
disappointing?
Nope.
There's a difference.
Glad you said that. Do we
And
have
I
four
say that
slots?
respectfully. You know what I mean? Like I fuck with Joey, but
The game didn't make our top 20 either.
what was the other one that you said? It was Czarface, Meth Lab 3, The List 2, and what else?
Denzel Curry.
Denzel Curry. Yeah, that was the one.
I was about to say we didn't.
Yeah.
What was in the game?
Melt My
Drillmatic. What do you
Eyes,
think? Or you think the Drillmatic was more of a disappointment than slept on?
Yeah, I think it was some mess steps and whatnot. I don't think it was.
I think it was just too many records.
Because everybody was checking for it. It wasn't like
Just
it was
too many
slept
records.
on. All right, so
I
got
guarantee you
the
they playing those tracks out on the West Coast. Way more than they playing,
the other guy. I hate
There's
spelling
plenty of
like
guys
that.
out there. That's the thing about it. You got Vince, you got YG, Schoolboy, Ad,
Was Ramona Park slept on?
Game. No. Ramona Park made our list.
Yeah. Ramona Park was highly regarded. Shit, B-Dot had it at number 2.
He had it that high?
Yeah.
He knows something.
Ramona Park's nice.
It is. It's a nice album. It's not the second best album this year, but it's a nice album. It's definitely should make, most lists.
I see
Fleet
Meth
Lord
Lab
made a
3,
comment.
man.
I saw Fleet Lord did an Instagram post, talking about how, these lists don't, feed his family or, send his daughter to college. And I was thinking, well, it's funny. It does that for me. That's why I do them. Next. Right.
Yeah, everybody got to eat, right?
Right. It's like, why you saying that shit? It's like, no. You understand niggas ain't making this list for fucking free, my nigga.
Uncle Fran with the super chat says the El Zai in Georgia Anna Mudrow is slept on album of the year. I'm with that.
I got the Georgia and Mudrow right here, too. We did not give it a rating or its proper due because I have listened to it. So maybe.
What did you think about it? Because I know I'm a super El Zai fan.
I was impressed by it for somebody who's not a big Elzai fan. Okay. Really impressed. Thought it might be his best project.
I think it's very slept on.
You can throw it in there. I'm cool. Who you taking out? Meth?
I mean, the poll's already up. Okay. Maybe I can close the poll.
I'm not in the chat right now. So
36 Chambers of the super chat says Czar, Meth, and Muggs, and Rock Marciano. Rock Marciano made our top 20. So
Marcy made our list, yeah.
Yeah, so he wouldn't be eligible. Okay. So I think we got everything. Do we need to do a comeback artist of the year?
I don't think
it's Black Star, man. It's gotta be.
I'm trying to think somebody who came and gave us something this year where it's just like, man, thank you for that. Where have you been? And they'd be the closest thing to it, even though I don't feel that way.
Nah, we all been waiting on Black Star. All right.
So we haven't been, but the album was dope.
Oh, yeah. All right, so Artist of the Year, we got Nas. Lyricist of the Year, we got Black Thought. Come Up Artist of the Year, Lotto. Album of the Year, KD3. Song of the Year, Aquamarine. Sample of the Year, Legit by Nas and Hit Boy. Beat of the Year, Mike and Quincy. Producer of the Year, Hit Boy. Live Performer of the Year, Kendrick Lamar. Music Video of the Year, The Heart Part 5. Group of the Year, Black Star. Group/duo of the Year, Black Star. Collaboration Album of the Year, Dreamville. Verse of the Year, Verse 1 of Aquamarine. I can put a poll up for Johnny P's Caddy.
Yeah, let's go ahead and put that poll up. Hold on. But who's winning the Slept On album vote?
Looks like Method Man is.
He is.
Let's see. Yeah, Method Man won by 40%.
Yep.
Oh, Wu-Tang's in the building. All right, let me put...
It's Wu-Tang forever, Mike. This is positive why they're the greatest group of all time. Think about it. It's like Czarface and Method Man. Deck and Meth did work this year. It's a slow year. Raekwon might be our... Ooh, that's what we missed. Guest appearance artist of the year.
Nah, we got featured artist of the year. That was...
No, featured appearance, not featured artist.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. Okay, let's talk about that real quick.
Right. Because I think we should do a live poll for that because I think we have some viable candidates. And we should let the people decide
we'll talk about that real quick. Black Thought. Aqua.
Cole for Johnny P's caddy.
Yep. The people in the
We
community.
just gonna put those two up.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think those are the ones that people want to go against each other real quick. Let's see. Ohio K with the super chat says Freddie needs an award for Soul Separately. He does.
No, he don't.
It's a dope album.
No, I mean just because it's a dope album. I mean, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you can just find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time, fam. You know what I mean? When you thought about collaboration of the year, it's like that could be DJ Paul and Freddie. PYS.
Possibly.
Yes, that's a possibility.
Okay, so featured artist of the year.
Raekwon, J. Cole.
Okay.
I don't care about the rest of these niggas.
Ray, J. Cole.
Who else?
Who's had a great feature run this year?
Right. If you want to, you can put Jay in there. Jay did 2 verses that got a lot of notoriety this year.
Okay. No, definitely. Jay-Z. I see people had Wayne on the list. Like, did Wayne do a lot of work this year?
I thought he just did God Did. What else did he do?
That's what I thought too. Okay, I see people saying Ray. Who we missing?
Benny did a lot of guest work. They're right. Benny did a lot of guest work.
Benny. Okay. I like it.
Mad Man, I'm not biased. I just know more than you, and so you have trouble dealing with it, but you're going to be okay. Get that out your system for the new year, my G. Love you, man.
Johnny P's caddy is winning 60% to 40%. Is this a popularity contest? I don't know. Maybe we're
Can't control the people. They off the chain, man. Let's see what's winning. This Johnny P's caddy is beating the Aquamarine verse.
That's what I'm talking about. It's 59%.
See, here's the thing, Mike. All these ones that you have up in the chat, we need to put them out for the larger forum anyway.
We'll do that.
Yeah. So before we even finalize the list, maybe you should just let this run. Maybe I'd say to about noon tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And at noon tomorrow, cut off all the polls, and then we'll put our finalized list up.
Yeah. DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says, I didn't notice until the Joe Budden podcast that Ab Soul hadn't released the album since 2016. Maybe there was a label issue at TDE. Possibly. 36 Chambers says Wayne was 1-1 on the best. Oh yeah, that's right. He was on that JID track. What about JID's features? You got Benny over that?
Yeah, I'm Wayne over that. And
okay.
Benny.
All right, let's do this.
Mad Mac's right. Kodak did a lot of features this year too. I'm cool with Kodak being in the combo. Kodak did his thing.
So who do you want to take out?
This year. You could say 21 too. I was thinking about 21.
I was thinking about 21 as well. Who you want to take out? Because it's only room for like 4.
Okay. Ray and Cole are in there, so. I'm cool with sliding Kodak in there though.
For who? Benny or Jay?
Jay.
Think so?
Yes.
Jay has some big features this year.
Okay, keep Jay in there. Take Benny out.
I think Benny had the better features. Well, okay, we'll do this. Jay and Kodak.
No, take. You want to know? Just take Kodak out if you're gonna do that. Because we're not really putting him in a position to win in this format, in this forum anyway.
Yeah. Yeah,
just take him out and put Benny in. Because Kodak ain't gonna get no votes from these people anyway. Outside of Mad Max young ass.
J. Cole's gonna win this poll anyway.
Raekwon should win it, but.
And yeah, I think that's a wrap, man. I think that we're about ready to go to print with this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to let's give this poll to about 8:15 to close up, and we can get up out of here. But yeah, that'll be the featured artist, slept on album of the year, Meth Lab. That's interesting.
It was pretty dope, Mike. I told you the bar work there was high. I told you he was an early lyricist of the year contender. You know, he just, this is what I mean. People don't, and this is where 2022 is really, really heavy that people don't notice. It's a lyrical heavy year. Like,
somebody said Freddie was robbed this year.
People understand the people that were outside this year. It's frightening to be an MC this year. Nas and Black Thought were outside releasing projects the same year. That's enough to make everybody else MC-wise go crawl into a hole. But then you add people like Lupe, Conway, Benny,
Black
JID coming out, Raekwon and J. Cole doing the guesswork that they're doing, coming and blistering up people's projects, Freddie making the project that he made, Rome Streets, Che Noir, Stove still popping up doing shit. Love dropped the dope album. Like the MCing, the actual craft of MCing is still okay.
It really is. Now let me go through some of these winners again.
Is okay.
Let me go through some of these winners again, and we can get up out of here. Artist of the Year, Nas. Lyricist of the Year, Black Thought. Come Up Artist of the Year, Lotto. Album of the Year, KD3. Song of the Year, Aquamarine. Sample of the Year, Legit. Beat of the Year, Mike and Quincy. Producer of the Year, Hit Boy. Live Performer of the Year, Kendrick Lamar. Music Video of the Year, The Heart Part 5. Group/Duo of the Year, Black Star. Collaboration Album of the Year, Dreamville. Verse of the Year, well, that's still up for grabs right now, but we're going to close that out in a second. OG Album of the Year,
Mount Westmore.
Freestyle of the Year, Sci-Hi Freestyle on LA Leakers. You got Comeback Artist of the Year, Black Star. Featured Appearance of the Year, Johnny P's Caddy from J. Cole. Collaboration Song of the Year, Peppers. Slept On Album of the Year, Meth Lab 3. Featured Artist of the Year, looks like it's about to be Cole.
It's a great year. I mean, think about this. Like, you got like, this is what I mean. It's a great time for like MCs and MCing. You got guys like Joey Badass and Vince Staples, who for their generation are top flight MCs. And it's like they didn't even register in our Lyricist of the Year conversation. Like, Vince and Joey are nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're nice. They couldn't even like sniff this list. Think about it. Like, Conway didn't win anything or make any of our top finalized lists for anything.
This is Conway. This is somebody that we had as the best rapper in the game 2 years ago.
I mean, I told you, he was literally the best rapper in hip hop to me as far as like lyrics and rhymes are concerned until KD2 dropped. So, yeah.
All right, okay with the super chat says, they did Ray dirty in the poll. All right, let's see.
They really are. Cole might be getting some of that Nas bias people be talking about. Because everything we put in Cole's winning. Notice Dreamville won, and Cole won Johnny P's Caddy, and now Cole's winning Best Feature. So we might have some Cole bias going on, too.
Cole won 49%.
He's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, feed that out to the masses, Mike. We got some, you know.
All right. Well, looks like we got our awards pretty much, and we'll do some tightening up on it. Release it tomorrow. And remember, Friday, we're going to be rocking. So Friday, we're going to get on here for maybe like 30 minutes and get everybody over to our station head where Coop and I is going to be playing the best songs of 2022 and just going to jam out and take requests, talk to the fans, y'all call in or whatever. They got a whole tipping type of situation over there too, right? So we're not missing out on super chats.
Yeah. People can still break bread with us. I would.
Yeah, we might need to have it situated where it's like break bread and you can just call in or something like that, you know.
Break bread with your request and then chime in and talk to us for a while because it kind of works like a radio format where it's like, well, in here you super chat and Mike B reads them out and then I talk shit. But on the station head, it kind of works like, well, put your request in and then put in a request to speak. And you know what I'm saying? It's actually more effective to super chat on the station head because we can actually pull you up live, play the song that you want to play, and like all that stuff.
You can holler at us or whatever and commentate and talk shit too. So, yeah, that's going to be perfect. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to put these awards out tomorrow. And like I said, we're going to jam out on Friday and then bring in the new year right. Bruce Almighty.
Super chat.
Yeah. I see it. Bruce Almighty with the super chat says, just wondering, did y'all hear Mac's album? I like Mac's album. I think it's there with the, the Fife album. And all it's been a lot of good music this year.
Ooh, that could have been an OG album candidate too. The Fife album was dope. That's what I mean. There's a lot of work this year.
Honestly, you know what? Mac could be comeback artist of the year.
He could be because he done came back from a lot. For real.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with Mac taking our comeback artist of the year because think about where he's been.
Yeah. All right. Let me change that. Yeah, Mac, comeback artist.
Giving that to Mac. Shout out to DJ Bruce Almighty.
Yeah.
Checked it out. The Mac is dope.
Yeah, and that's why we have these discussions. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We can't make these lists
You just made me
ourselves.
think about the fight, Mike. I really enjoyed the fight.
I did too. I think that maybe that's a slept-on candidate too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Czarface, like there's so much stuff out here. That's what I'm saying. Think about this. It's like Deck and Meth, who are from the Wu-Tang Clan, didn't make our lyricists like list. Like that's how deep it is this year.
It's crazy. Darius Campbell with the super chat says, appreciate you guys. We appreciate y'all too, man. I'm looking forward to Friday so we can actually play some music. I'll be wanting to play music on this show, but you know, the YouTube police don't allow that. So
they barely allowed me to say Kyrie.
All right, man. We're going to get up out of here, man.
You like a Coop say Kyrie? We taking this week's money from these niggas.
Right. Bullying. Great show. We're going to holler at y'all Friday. Good stuff. Download Station Head, too.